sure everyone's heard about it. Obviously, we've got William Regal kicking off the show. William Regal is going to be making an announcement. It is expected that someone is going to be brought back to WWE. That someone is backstage. The reports are that the person we've all heard is backstage. So that's the latest that's doing the rounds at the moment. So I was just having a quick look and to see, find out the latest news, rumors, all that kind of stuff. Because obviously I'm a little bit out of the loop at the moment because of all the football streams. But I did just do a little bit of looking around. And so Regal, rumors are, should be kicking off the show. And the person that is expected to be brought in is backstage. Kushida's open challenge, I've got no idea who that is. But as I said, I'm not sure that I'm expecting it to be massive, to be honest. I'm a little bit torn on it because some people have been saying that it could be another big name. But I'm kind of expecting it to be like Tyler Rust or someone like this. I'm kind of expecting it because he has done this open challenge before. And it wasn't a big name. And I'm kind of expecting it to be another not very big name, but I could be wrong on that. I haven't heard anything on that. I'm just telling you what I'm expecting. So I'm not really expecting too much there. LA Knight is going to be doing a coronation. So LA Knight, obviously victorious NXT takeover. He is going to be coronated as the brand new $1 million champion. We've also got a tornado tag match between grizzled young veterans and Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. We've also got Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai taking on Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro. We've got Breezango taking on Imperium. And we've also got Io Shirai is going to be talking. She's going to be doing a promo. So they've actually announced 7 things. Normally you get normally about 3 or 4, but they've announced 7 things for tonight's NXT. So they're clearly trying to boost the ratings, influence the ratings, and they've announced the load in advance. There's a massive William Regal announcement. Big cliffhanger at the end of TakeOver. So they used the end of TakeOver to set up, tonight's show. Big cliffhanger where the match ended, Karrion was standing tall, and then all of a sudden we just went backstage, and William Regal said, obviously, it's carnage, it's out of control, it's time for a change, and then he walked off. What I really liked about that segment at the end of TakeOver, you could hear the crowd going, no, you could hear the crowd shocked and upset. I think that really made that segment. I loved that. They didn't have to do that, but I loved it. I loved hearing the crowd react, going, no, because the thought of William Regal leaving is very upsetting. And I've seen a lot of people online very upset about the prospect of William Regal walking away. Mark A. Hicks, shout out to you, dude. Hope you are well. Appreciate the support, buddy. Days, are you covering France, Germany tonight? Am I covering France, Germany tonight? We're NXT focused tonight, let me tell you. It's Joey something is Samoa Joe is a new NXT general manager. Who's JoJo? Huh? I don't know. Who's JoJo? I've not heard anything about a JoJo. Let's go back up to the chat. So shout out to Mark A. Hicks. James Chadwick, shout out to you. Robin said, I'm expecting a new debut for Kushida's Open Challenge. Jim Gore says, Happy Tuesday. Everyone's favourite mod is here. Check him out. Check Jim Gore. In my mind, Jim Gore has got the shades on when he says that. He puts everyone's favourite mod is here. Hope you are all well. Jim Gore in the house. Certainly my favourite mod. I don't think there's any other mods around, is there? Just have a quick scan to make sure. No, I think you're the only one, actually. Yeah, you're my favourite. You've always been my favourite, Jim. London says, I hope Eva Marie is the new general manager. Toonboy2K says, France and Germany has already been played. 1-0, wasn't it? 1-0. And I tell you, France were lucky, man. Well, Germany were lucky as well, actually. But France were lucky because Germany were all over them. Fantastic game. Big thank you to anyone that's been joining us for the football streams. I think they've been a lot of fun. Really enjoying them. We've done the first round of games. Week 2, the second round of games start tomorrow. So we're going back round again tomorrow. If you've got a fantasy team for that, make sure that you are making transfers. I hope Regal stays as GM and he brings Samoa Joe in as his enforcer. David Robert Wood said, Days, if William Regal leaves as GM, do you think he could become a superstar instead? No, but unfortunately not. He's had a few health issues. He's getting on a little bit as well. I'm sure he won't mind me saying. But no, he's not had a match for many, many, many years. And he's had like heart problems and everything as well. So he's not in ring shape or anything like that. So I mean, he is fantastic. What a wrestling mind he is. I don't know, actually. There might be a William Regal biography. I seriously would love to read it because I know he started wrestling in Blackpool, and he was wrestling with like Big Daddy and all those kind of wrestlers. So he wrestled with Big Daddy, and yes, there's one called Walking the Golden Mile, and that's what Blackpool, the front of Blackpool's, because Blackpool is like a seaside town here in the UK, and the whole front is known as the Golden Mile, and so William Regal's book is called Walking the Golden Mile. And he, I mean, what a career. He started off in British wrestling. I believe he was actually wrestling as well. Like, he would actually wrestle anyone that wanted to try their luck against him. So he was, like, really shooting. And he went from that to then working with Big Daddy and working, like, the proper pro wrestling scene in the UK. Then he moved over to America and started working over there in WCW. Then, obviously, he made his way to WWE, but he's had a lot of, like, struggles and everything as well. He's had, like, a few addictions and demons that he's had to overcome. But he's really kind of found a whole new audience in this GM role, and people really love him in this GM role. Like, people are seriously upset if he's leaving. He's got to go to the Hall of Fame. He's got to go to the Hall of Fame. He's got to. He is one of my favorites, all-time favorites. I would put William Regal. I'm not saying he's like one of the most influential or anything like that. I do think he's very talented. Like, actually, in ring, he is an absolute fantastic wrestler. So I would certainly put him in the conversation as one of the best. I'm quite happy to put his name up there as one of the best, William Regal, because he's just been so well trained, and he's got such a good like background, and hence why he's done a lot of work with NXT. But he is. He's got to go in the Hall of Fame. I'll be gutted if he goes tonight. I will be gutted. I don't care who comes in. There is no one that can come in that can replace William Regal in my eyes. No, absolutely no one. Sid Scala should be the NXT UK GM since he seems to be doing that job anyway. Brony said, Days, once William Regal steps down and someone takes his spot, what do you think he will do? On the main roster or retire? I hope he doesn't retire. He's really good at being GM. I think that there's a chance that he will be behind the scenes doing like some consulting work. I don't think they're going to look to get rid of him because I can't imagine they pay him all that much, to be honest. I think that he's a very good scout. I think he's very good at like finding talent. I think he's very good at giving people like the once over, like having a look like, right, what can you do? So when there's tryouts It wouldn't surprise me if like William Regal was like a part of that, looking at for talent. Wouldn't surprise me if William Regal was doing the odd class at the Performance Center. Wouldn't surprise me, if he's just kind of involved in that way. But I don't know where he is health-wise, and I don't know if his health has maybe deteriorated to the point where he... It might have just got to the point where he now can't do this. Do you know what I mean? Or maybe he doesn't want to do this. He definitely wants to do wrestling. He loves wrestling. But maybe he's getting up to the point where it's family time, or it's... Do you know what I mean? It's time for him to take another step away. Like, you've stepped out the ring, you've done the GM thing for 7 years. Maybe it's just that next step now where you come in on a part-time basis, So, I said in a tweet I sent out the other day, I'm gutted if he's going, but if he is going, I hope it's his decision. I hope he's not being forced out because they think they need to boost ratings. So, let's replace him with someone younger and hipper and cooler. Or I hope it's not a case that, it's budget things or something like this. I hope it's none of that. I hope if he is going, it's because he wants to go. But Triple H was... They spoke about it to Triple H, and Triple H said it's in his blood. Like, he loves this. He lives this. He loves wrestling. So, there's people that we couldn't have done this without, and he's absolutely one of them, and he'll always be involved. So... you can kind of take that however you want to take it, do you know what I mean? Doesn't mean he has to be involved full-time. He's always going to be involved, but he could be an ambassador or something, couldn't he? And he's still involved. So, didn't really get any answers. So, we'll have to see. But, if this turns into like a 3-hour kind of appreciation to William Regal stream, then so be it, because I love the man. Vape Ross Vape said, Days, did you see Regal shoot on Goldberg? Yeah, I mean, that's famous, isn't it? Where Goldberg's streak was that... It's so weird because I still don't know the whole story, to be honest, but the Goldberg was winning. He had this streak in WCW, and just 1 week it was time for him to face William Regal. William Regal swears that someone told him backstage, give him a competitive match. Don't give him an easy match. Give him a competitive match, because Goldberg was beating everyone, like squashing them. But he was told backstage by a producer, make it a little bit more tricky tonight, yeah? And so he was like, cool. So he went out there, ready to, have a bit of a match. The problem is, Goldberg didn't seem to be on the same page. So Goldberg was under the impression it was another squash. So if you get a chance to watch it. Regal, Goldberg, WCW. One guy thinks the match is going to be a match. One guy thinks it's a squash, right? One guy's been told, allegedly, make this a match. The other guy is under the impression it's a squash, and the bell rings. So you can imagine the car crash that happens. But fair play to Regal. I mean, he dominates that match. Like, he dictates it. Goldberg doesn't just pick up Regal and slam him down and get the 3 count. Like, William Regal makes it tricky for Goldberg. It's an ugly looking match because they're not on the same page, but just goes to show, what William Regal can do. Don't think, Goldberg did not just run over him. Let's put it that way. It was a competitive match, but very ugly. Not a classic by any means, but it's just kind of really interesting. Obviously, there was a big falling out backstage, and I've heard a few shoot interviews on it. It seems like William Regal and Goldberg have got 2 different versions of the story as to what what went down. But it's cool, isn't it? It's one of those really quirky little things that's happened. LSW says they should bring Regal back this once a year just to yell War Games. Ethan said, what are your thoughts on the William Regal announcement tonight? Have you got any ideas? Well, I mean, there's the big rumour, isn't there? I don't want to mention it, to be honest, because there might be some people that don't know. But there's a big rumour as to what it is. I'm pretty sure 99.9% of us have heard it. And apparently the person that it's rumoured to be is backstage. So I think it's going to go that way. It's such a shame because when it happens, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to be shocked now. So when it happens, it's going to be like, right, yeah, they've done it. And I just don't. Someone said when AEW has a surprise, you never hear about it. When WWE's got a surprise, like you hear about it the moment and it's true, isn't it? Like I had no idea that Big Show had signed with AEW. I had no idea that they'd brought Christian Cage in. I didn't know that Lio Rush was the surprise entrant in the thing. I didn't know Mark Henry was going to walk out at Double or Nothing and all this. Like, all these people, you just don't hear any leaks. But in WWE, it just seems like every surprise gets ruined. It's really close to impossible for them to pull off a surprise in WWE. That is one leaky ship that they've got, let me tell you. People just can't seem to keep their mouths shut. So it's a real shame, because could you imagine if you didn't know and then it happened? It's such a shame. It is such a shame. How many points did you get in the fantasy? I don't know, buddy. I don't know. I mean, I have been on, but I've literally been on just to make sure I get my transfers done, and that's it. So I've made my transfers, and that's it. What matches are tonight? What matches are tonight? We've got Tornado Tag between Grizzled Young Veterans, Ciampa and Thatcher. We've got Raquel and Dakota taking on Casey Catanzaro and Caden. We got Breezango taking on Imperium. We've got Io Shirai coming back. It's not a match, but she's coming back. We've got an LA Knight coronation. And I think that's it for the matches that have been announced. So they have actually announced quite a few little segments and whatnot. So more than we usually get. Days, enjoyed your football show. Shout out to you, David Robert Wood. William says, who won all of the football games? Dude, you've confused me with Google there. That's because Alvarez and Meltzer ruin every surprise. Harley says, Days, it's obvious that Lily is going to be the GM. That's what Alexa means by time out. NXT is way worse than Raw. Am I right, guys? Days, William Regal is a talent relations officer. It's still part of his official title. He might just concentrate on moving into the background full time. That's true. That is true. Do you think Regal's announcement will be the first out or towards the main event? I think it's. I've definitely read on Twitter that it's going to be the first thing. I don't know how accurate that is. I mean, it doesn't really matter, does it? Doesn't matter if it's the first thing or the main event thing, but I'm more expecting it to be the first thing. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. But if not, then whatevs. Do you think Casino will show up? I don't know, bud. I don't know. Samoa Joe is going to become general manager of a new NXT show. Well, this is a little curveball, isn't it? Because we've got Diamond Mine. And they've been teased for week after week after week. Now, normally on the main roster, once you get to like the pay-per-view, then as soon as the pay-per-view's done, that's when you get the build to the next pay-per-view. So we've just got past TakeOver. So we're past TakeOver. So that now means that do we get Diamond Mine tonight? Now that TakeOver's out the way and we're building to something else, do we now get TakeOver tonight? Diamond Mine tonight? I think there's a good chance that we do see some movement there. I mean, we've got to get some answers soon, haven't we? So it could be interesting. Samoa. The only thing is, does Samoa Joe being the GM of a new brand or a new show of some kind bring about the change that William Regal is talking about? William Regal saying that NXT is anarchy now and they need to change something. I'm not sure how starting a new show would bring about that change. I don't know, because I still don't quite know what Diamond Mine is, but, well, we'll find out tonight, won't we? Days, breaking news. I saw Casino earlier in a different football stream. There's a big chance he will be here today. Great American Bash is next, says XFL. Days, what was the scoreline in the 5th game of the Euros? I forgot. Just Shanks Wrestling says Pippa Niven versus Liv Morgan. I would lose my mind as I fancy both of them. I seen half of your football team. Had to do some family stuff. William, shout out to you. Erectile Dysfunction says, finally, erectile dysfunction has come back to this chat. Shout out to you, erectile dysfunction. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while. Shout out to you, dude. Hasib said, Days, Ronaldo was great today, wasn't he? His celebration and energy got me going. Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel that he missed a chance or two. And, I mean, for, 80-odd minutes, they were only a few minutes away from the headlines reading very different to how they look now. So he was good, but they did leave it late. So, yeah, I mean, look, he got 2 goals, one of them being a penalty. Yeah, Portugal showing just how dangerous they are. I mean, they were really good today. They were all over Hungary. They look really good. They look really fresh. They look like they've got goals in them. The fact that they could have, scored 10 today, I think, is concerning for other teams. They're clearly never going to give up. They got all the way to like the 84th, 85th minute and to get their first goal, and they end up winning 3-0. Like, yeah, they definitely... It's a bit of a mixed bag, really, because... they've definitely sent a statement, but also you can't ignore the fact they went 80-odd minutes without actually scoring. But, sometimes that's football, isn't it? So, certainly, I've got to be honest, though, there's no one I've seen that I'm worried about facing. I seriously think Italy look the best team so far. I think Italy being able to do what they did against a very good Turkey team should not be overlooked. That is a good Turkey side. That's a lot of people's dark horse picks to, do well in this tournament, and Italy just destroyed them. So I do think that Italy are the team that have impressed me the most. But Belgium, effortless. Didn't even get out of first gear. Portugal just smashed 3 against Hungary, and only needed 7 minutes to do it. So yeah, there's some good teams, definitely good teams. But I do think England are in the mix, There's nothing there that's really concerning me all that much. James Chadwick said, Days, UFC is on early this Saturday. The prelims start at 10. Ugh. I swear, they're trying to kill me. Okay, right. Well, we're doing it. We're going to be there for it. We'll be covering it on... What have we got Saturday? Saturday, we've got... got 3 good games on Saturday as well, We've got Hungary against France. I mean, how do you not watch France? You got to watch France, haven't you? So Hungary against France, Portugal against Germany, and Spain, Poland. I mean, so on Saturday, we've got Spain, Portugal, Germany, and France all in action. I mean, I seriously might have to do those 3 games and UFC. I don't know. There's a lot in it. There's a lot going on at the moment. Dame Film says, when do you think we are going to see Roderick Strong again? I've been expecting him to debut on Raw sometime in the past month or so. Not sure. I haven't heard any rumours about Roderick Strong, so seriously don't know what's happening with him at the moment. Oh, before I forget as well, worth mentioning that what's her face? Renee Young. She gave birth today, didn't she? So many congratulations to Renee Young and to John Moxley, which is good news. The other little bits I got written down. SmackDown did 1.944 million, which is okay. I think anything under 2 million is a little disappointing, but that's okay. 1.944. Raw did 1.742. So, it's kind of where they've been. So, I'd say SmackDown a little bit lower. than where I'd like to see it, and Raw kind of in line with where it's been for a long time now. So 1.9, 1.7 for Raw and SmackDown. And we spoke about Renee giving birth, and there's over 4,000 new animations in WWE 2K22. Over 4,000 new animations. So, yeah, we've got all of that coming to the game as well. So, 2K22 looks like they're really, really put a lot of work into that. Still haven't really seen anything that's really grabbed my attention yet. It's obviously still a long way to go until we actually get to that. But, yeah, I'm excited for that game, and I definitely will. I definitely will get that game. So, yeah, 2K22 coming out later this year. And, you know, hopefully we get some really good trailers for it. Tall Paul says, anyone noticed WWE congratulated Renee but not John? Yeah, I've seen a lot of people kind of upset about that, but I wouldn't really read too much in it. I kind of feel that, you know, John works for a competitor now, whereas Renee doesn't. You know, Renee doesn't work for AEW. She's just independent on her own. So, you know, and also she still was doing like WWE backstage not that long ago. So I kind of feel like there's not really much of a conspiracy there. You know, Renee's given birth. They've congratulated. They didn't have to say anything at all, did they? So, I don't know. It was a bit weird seeing people moan and complain about that. Robin said, Days, how would you feel about Volta dethroning Karrion? I would like, yeah, I'm down for that. I really like Volta. Volta being NXT champ, I think would be cool. I would love it. I've said this before. I would love it if Volta was to get the NXT title, or, you know, any title, and take it back to the UK. And then NXT should be people trying to find the number one contender, and then when they're ready, you know, it's time for takeover, or they come over to the UK, and we get the matches over here, which would be really good. I think another UK takeover at some point would be great. They did it before, a UK takeover, but another UK takeover would be really, really good. They could maybe do it on an NXT UK takeover. And do like, you know, NXT championship match with Volta being the champion. I reckon you could do a fun little story with all of that. But I don't think Volta will be the one. I don't think they're going to want to put the title on him, to be honest, because he's already the NXT UK champ. So I don't think they'd want to do that, but I'd love it. I'm a big Volta fan. Are you excited for the MMA cage fight on Dynamite between Wardlow and Hager? Be interesting how it's presented because it's under MMA rules. Yeah, I'm interested in that. I mean, I really like MMA. I really like obviously watching UFC. So it will be interesting. I wonder if AEW are under the impression that Diamond Mine is like MMA orientated, and they're just trying to get the jump on it or something. I wonder if that's connected in any way, because I certainly get the impression that Diamond Mine is like MMA connected. So I wonder if AEW have seen that and gone, right, let's get the jump on that, and we'll do an MMA fight first, kind of a thing. Volta versus Kross would be awesome, says Richards. I'm happy WWE is on good terms with Renee, says House Rules. WT says, is Samoa Joe back tonight? Do you believe the hype? I do believe the hype. Days, who do you think Karrion Kross's next opponent will be? Will it be someone who was in the Fatal 5-Way or someone new? I don't know, bud. Honestly, don't know. I mean, personally, I hope that it's just going to be one person. I really don't want it to be a case that we get... I don't want it to be a case where it's another multi-person match or anything like this. I just want a good feud for Karrion Kross. I mean, I honestly thought they could have called him up by now. I don't think we really need to wait that much longer. I think that he could go to the main roster. I think he's ready. I don't really know what he needs to stay in NXT for. But then NXT is its own brand now, and it's on TV now, and do you know what I mean? It's like, I can't imagine Triple H is desperate to lose him. We said this the other day, so. Harley said, Days, that's a nice microphone. What's your favourite part about it? The top bit. The bit I talk into. Johnny says, I love AEW. Brony says, I think Kross's next opponent could be Pete Dunne. I agree, Days. Kross should have one-on-one feuds. AEW probably saw how well the NXT fight pits were received and decided to put their own spin on it. Yeah, that's true. I mean, what I will say is AEW are quite innovative. So there is also the case that they might not have seen anything and just decided to go this way anyway. I don't want to make it seem like they're just copying NXT. Because, you know, they've done a Stadium Stampede match. They've done the Mimosa match. They've done, you know, quite a few original matches. And quite a few things different to NXT. So there is every chance that they were going to do an MMA fight anyway. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of interesting how we've got... obviously, Diamond Mine come in. And it does look from the vignettes that it's very MMA orientated. James Chadwick says, NXT is great. AEW is great. 90% of the time, I just enjoy them both whilst we can. Edward Brown said, Days loving the streams. Shout out to you. Ashton says, can't wait for the McGregor fight. Same, buds. I can't wait for the McGregor fight. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's literally a month away, about 4 weeks or so. And that's going to be arguably the biggest UFC stream of the year. Like, that thing is going to be monstrous. So, yeah, I can't wait either. Erectile Dysfunction says, I'm really not a fan of Kross as a champion because, in my opinion, to be the main champion of your brand in this day and age, you need to be able to put on 5-star matches. I just don't think Kross is capable. Well, it's a good point, but I don't know if he isn't or he is or he isn't. I mean, I personally wasn't a fan of the 5-way idea. I wanted a one-on-one match for him and for him to show that he can put on those kind of 5-star matches. But, yeah, let's see. Let's see what he can do, basically. If he can get a feud now, then I'd be interested in seeing what he can do. Because I think he's potentially could do it. He's a big guy. He can go in the ring. And if he's got the right opponent, I mean, could you imagine Kross Adam Cole? I feel like Kross Adam Cole, if it was properly planned out, would have a really good shot at getting there or thereabouts. Days, doesn't England lack of goals concern you, as there was 3 games they've only won by 1 goal? No, not particularly, because I do think England do have goals in them. I think England's concern is their defence. So the lack of goals isn't a concern. The fact they haven't conceded in the past 3 games, I think, is a massive positive. Because if you used to speak to anyone about England's concern area, they'd say the centre backs. You know, I think the midfield, the attack. I mean, we've got so much talent up there with Grealish and Foden and Kane, and you never really doubt that we can score. I kind of feel like we've got goals, so no, I'm not really worried about that bit. The bit I'm worried about is our defence and the fact we've kept 3 clean sheets. I take more positives from that than I do concerns that we didn't score. So, no, not worried in the slightest. I really get the feeling that part of things is going to click. I don't know what it is. We played 2 different sides in those friendlies. We played 2 different teams. I kind of think if we could just get some sort of consistency with the team, then you might start seeing a few things click into place. And Phillips, I'm just still buzzing about Phillips. I just listened, actually, to a podcast about the England game. I wanted to know what, some hardcore football fans were saying. You know, analysts. And they were buzzing about Phillips, saying, so Phillips, greatest player ever, yeah? They were joking, of course, but that has been the buzz around him, in all fairness. I really think after that performance he's undroppable. I don't think you could drop Phillips now. So that's a big positive. Him putting in that kind of performance is a big positive. England 2, France 0. England are going to win it all. It'll be one of the biggest upsets of the decade, says Richard. Sean says, Slammiversary is just a rumour for Joe. They tease people, but they can't confirm them. I think Hager being in Bellator was a big reason behind it. I wouldn't be surprised if Hager pinched it. Exified says, Days, Roman seems to be pretty much impossible to beat. Who do you think gets the title off him? I think it'll be Big E. I'm hoping Big E gets the job done because I think that Big E is the right person to be built up. I don't know why you would separate him from the New Day to have a mid-card title run. I just don't think you would. I think you build him up to have a Universal Championship run, So I feel like Big E is the one. But I do agree he's not been built up very well. Jim Gore sent a really good article over that I had a read of, and they were saying that they've just not built up Big E right. And I do feel sorry for them because he was meant to have a feud with Aleister Black, and that obviously fell through. So as a result, it's just kind of now left things a little bit loose. Like, they really do need something better for Big E. I think probably even better than Aleister Black. I think that was that feud was confusing because Aleister Black needed to win it and Big E needed to win it, so I could never quite understand why they were doing it in the first place. I sort of feel like Big E just needs to win feuds. Big E just needs to look unstoppable. He doesn't really need to be having major competitive matches. He can have wars at pay-per-views and whatever, but he just needs to win. And we need to be told that he's on a streak, and we need to be told that, it's clicked and he's put it together and, all this. And I think it'd be good if he dumped the New Day ring attire and went on a bit of a run and found, really got the final piece of his new identity. He's got music, he's got entrance. Get rid of the gear, get some new gear, and then go on a run and just build him. But I wonder if they haven't done that because they're not quite sure when they're going to pull the trigger. I mean, if they can do Rock Roman, they're doing that 100%. But you wouldn't really want to do Roman Big E anywhere other than WrestleMania or, say, SummerSlam. And he ain't going to happen at this SummerSlam. So that means WrestleMania. And if it's going to happen at WrestleMania, we need to know it's not going to be Rock Roman. So I don't know what year Rock Roman's happening, and that's maybe just messing up the whole Big E story. There's another school of thought that Vince might want to go with Drew. Vince might want it to be Drew. But I personally don't feel like Drew's the right person right now. I'm kind of a bit over Drew. I don't know what it is. I don't find him that exciting anymore. I mean, I kind of felt when he was champion at the end of last year, he was in a decent place. This year, he's just kind of been a little bit dull. I don't really feel like he's really kicked on, or I'm not really feeling it anymore. I don't know, I can't quite put my finger on where they've gone wrong with him. Maybe it's just because he's in endless feuds that are just boring. He's in this feud with Bobby, and I just don't find it interesting in the slightest. There's nothing intriguing happening. There's nothing happening. Maybe that's the problem. There's just nothing happening. Nothing interesting. There's no interesting swerves. There's nothing to get your teeth into. It's just, they're kind of just having matches, really. Drew this year just has a match with someone on Raw, and then he has a title match at the pay-per-view, and then he has more matches on Raw. The matches don't mean anything. They're sometimes tag matches. They're, just random things. And then he has a pay-per-view match. It's all just oh my God. It's so uncreative booking. I think that might be it. I think if they could really, do something interesting. Like how they were booking Braun, and Braun was flipping over vehicles and stuff like this. That was interesting. I'm not saying do that with Drew, but at least they were doing something. At least they were doing something. And I kind of feel like Drew needs that, to be honest. Or, something interesting. Joaquin says, do you think we'll get Roman, Cena, Edge at SummerSlam? I think so. Big E should quit the crotch thrusts, someone said. LSW said, Drew is a bit boring. His matches are just the same WWE main event type match every single time. I don't think Roman is losing that title until Rock versus Roman and Brock versus Roman. I won't be able to watch the second half of the Scotland game. My brother's stupid grade gutted. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, bud. Days, will Michael Chandler versus Justin will be calling UFC one day or not? What, will we get Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje? I've not heard it announced, but I think there's a good chance of that. We saw Justin Gaethje in the crowd, so I think there's a good chance. Days, I want to see your face when you find out, and it will happen that Lily will be the one on 2K22. Do you know what? She might be in the game. Joking aside, she might be in the game. Little Kaiser says, do you like F1? I do watch F1 when I can and it's on, so I will watch it, but it's not something that I really go out of my way to watch. It's not like I'm like, oh, I've got to make sure I'm free on Saturday to watch qualifying. But if the race is on a Sunday, then and I'm around, then I'll sit down and check it out, definitely. Erectile Dysfunction said, Days, I think England are going out in the first round. France will win their group, and so will we. And there's no chance that we're beating France. Hang on. If France win their group and we win as, I think we wouldn't face them till the final. So I think it'd be a bigger problem if France finish second in their group and we win, then we'd face them in the next round. So actually, thinking about it, it's probably good news for England that France won today, because if France can finish top of their group and we finish top of ours, then we will avoid France in the next round. But, I mean, having seen Portugal today and having seen France-Germany, I'm still not really crazy about facing any of those teams, to be honest. But we're going to have to face one of them if we win the group. LSW is going to be GM tonight. Jim says, I'm sure someone will make Lillian create a wrestler. Harry Richards says, Days, I'm being serious when I say this, but NXT is better than the main roster for two reasons. One, because it isn't owned by Vince, as it's owned by Triple H, and two, Triple H cares about NXT. Thoughts? I think that it is a good debate as to whether it's better than SmackDown. I could definitely see arguments for it being better than SmackDown. But I could see arguments that SmackDown is better than NXT. So I think there's a bit of a debate there. But if you think NXT's better, I'm not going to argue that fact. Because, as I said, I can totally see why people would say that. Vince does own NXT because he owns all of WWE, but he just isn't as hands-on. He definitely allows Triple H more to just get on with it, basically. I don't think Vince is that bothered by NXT. He's there, though. There's a big misconception that Vince is never around, but he is. He's backstage at takeovers and whatever, so he is involved. But he just doesn't really. I think he just leaves them to it. I think he's there because it's WWE and he wants to oversee it and make sure, everything's going the way it should and check in and, just be there. He loves the whole business, doesn't he? It's a misconception if you think that Vince isn't, Vince likes making money. So he wants to check on how this part of the business is going. So if he can make money on something or see potential in something, and something might catch his eye or whatever, so he is around with NXT. Not week in, week out. Mainly at the big takeovers and whatever. But I'm sure he does pop down for the week in, week out stuff. Occasionally. But, yeah, I don't know. As I said, it's debatable. For me right now, I would probably say I'm still preferring SmackDown, but it's probably changing, actually. It's probably changing. It's probably getting a little bit more 50-50. I love the Roman story. That's the big thing for me. I love the Roman story. I love Roman. I love the Roman story. And I think that's been just the biggest, best thing in wrestling in 2021. So that's what draws me to SmackDown. NXT, I think it's all right. It's good. But I just think something hasn't been quite right with it for me personally recently. I can't quite put my finger on it, but someone said the other day that Triple H was being used on Raw as well, so he might be splitting his time. So Triple H might actually not be involved in NXT as much as he used to be. I also think it's kind of struggled a touch since it went on to network TV. I think NXT, when it was 1 hour on the network, was considerably better. And also when it was at Full Sail and it had the full crowd. So we're only just now kind of starting to make some movement with having a crowd. So we'll have to see if that kind of positively influences things. But maybe it was that. Maybe that's been the problem. Again, lack of a crowd. Because if you think about how important the NXT crowd is to NXT, yeah, it's huge, isn't it? It's huge. So they're like a very big part of the show. They've always been passionate and vocal, and it's always felt like a family. You know, we are NXT. I remember seeing like Triple H going after one of the shows to a local bar. He saw online someone had said, let's go for drinks after here, and he saw that. And after one of the shows, there's footage, they recorded it, of him going. He actually went to these drinks and met the fans and got pictures with them and just wanted to say thanks for the support. How cool is that? So this is what I'm saying. Like, if you take the fans out of NXT, I think you really do lose something huge. I think you feel it more with NXT than the other brands as well. And maybe that's been the big difference. That energy has been maybe what's been missing. So we'll see. Now that we're starting to get people back and whatever, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I could see an argument for both. Is the GM being revealed today? I don't know, but I mean, I only know the rumours, and the rumours are that there is someone backstage that we've all heard of that is going to be revealed. But what his role is, we don't know. Does anyone think that Goldberg is going to return for SummerSlam? I'm pretty sure he will. Maybe he'll face Roman. I'm not sure. I've not heard anything about Goldberg. The Roman is meant to be facing Cena. I know that Cena did an interview with Chris Van Vliet, and it was revealed there that I think Chris Van Vliet said, "Are you coming back? Is it a matter of? It's a matter of when, not if." And Cena was like, 100%, you are correct. So he said it's a matter of when, not if you're coming back. And he's like, yeah. So he's coming back. We're not quite sure when. But the reports are it will be SummerSlam, so. SmackDown is going through a rough patch. End of last year, we had the Roman story. Big E, IC run, Bayley and Sasha. Now it's just Roman, says Moldy Spoon. Robin said, Days, NXT used to always book on what the fans wanted. Now there are no fans. They struggle a little. What's your thoughts on that? Maybe. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it's just the case they're not getting that live crowd reaction. And where they're not getting that live crowd reaction, they can't quite get a read as to what's working and what's not working. And so maybe they have just gone down a few wrong roads or whatever. I do think, and I still can't put my finger on this, but the Undisputed Era split was not big enough. It wasn't right. Like, that moment should have been one of the biggest moments in the history of NXT. And you can say that it is, right? And it is. But it's nothing compared to when DIY split. I mean, when DIY split and, they were... I think they'd just lost the match and, like, Ciampa was consoling Gargano and then he just grabs him and throws him into the thing. And you can hear an arena full of people reacting to DIY splitting up. That was huge. I kind of feel like Undisputed Era should have split in front of an arena full of people. And it's hard because it's the pandemic, and perhaps they've been waiting to do that split for 12 months. Who knows? Perhaps they were going to split Undisputed Era 12 months ago, but because of the pandemic, they couldn't. And so in the end, they just had to do it this year or something. But again, it's just, it didn't feel big enough. It didn't feel like it had the impact that it should have had. And it's just been a few things like that that's just not felt quite right. And there's been a bit of humour missing from the show, but I think the way has been brilliant. So I like the way. I think Karrion's been brilliant as well. I think people might be split on this Tian Sha stuff now. I mean, I was really into it, but I'm not into it now. I was really into it. I was loving it. When they were punishing Xia Li, I was like, wow, this is quite different and dark, and I was into all of that. But then it's sort of just gone a bit weird. It's gone a little supernatural, and it felt a bit awkward, the Tian Sha bit during the takeover, I felt. So, I don't know. Let's see. Certainly, if we're talking about crowd feedback, there wasn't any crowd feedback during that Tian Sha bit. It was quiet. It didn't sound like people were really feeling it, which is why I was saying I think people are split now. So, and I'm not seeing anyone talk about it on Twitter, about people losing their minds over it. So, not sure. We'll have to see. But NXT, I think, needs a bit of a reboot, refresh, reset. And maybe that's what we're going to see tonight with William Regal. Didn't have the same impact as the Shield split. No, it didn't. And that's the level that they should be looking at. I mean, Undisputed Era were huge. I mean, what was bigger than Undisputed Era in NXT? I mean, you could argue that they are the biggest thing to ever have been in NXT. Maybe the Four Horsewomen of Bayley, Sasha, maybe they were bigger in NXT. But I'm not sure they were really a thing. I'm not sure they were really a foursome. Certainly they weren't together like Undisputed Era were together. So I kind of feel like you're splitting up the biggest thing that's ever happened in NXT. And it just felt a little flat, that was all. It wasn't bad. This isn't like a moan or anything like that. I'm just saying that something's not hitting quite right. I feel like if AEW had done that, it would have had a bit more impact. And I think it must come down to the live crowd. And maybe that's what was missing. Harry Richards said, Days, I don't know why, but something in the back of my mind is telling me that Brock will return after Hell in a Cell and F5 Bobby or Drew, which will then lead to SummerSlam. Do you think it would be too soon? Hard to say. I don't know if it'll be too soon. Might be, because after this is Money in the Bank. So I kind of feel like you would have to do something with Brock at Money in the Bank, surely. If he's coming back here, you're sort of setting it up for the next pay-per-view. So I personally would expect it to be the case that we will see Brock at Money in the Bank setting up for SummerSlam. I think makes more sense than Hell in a Cell. Cal W, shout out to you, says, I tweeted an interesting bold prediction. I'll have a look. That's interesting. That is interesting. So, Triple H an hour ago... Thanks, Cal. So, Triple H an hour ago has said NXT continues to grow, continues to evolve, and NXT TakeOver represented yet another shift into the future. Now, see what happens next tonight on WWE NXT Live on USA Network. And so what Cal's saying is, seems like NXT Evolve could be announced. He says continues to grow and evolve. So, if you haven't heard this news before, NXT Evolve is meant to be on the way. We haven't actually spoke about that for a good few months, but there was a few rumours a few months ago that NXT Evolve was going to be the new NXT. So that kind of younger talent that's coming through, the performance center talent, the talent that, you know, you might see once in a while on NXT, that kind of talent would have its own home, which would leave NXT to be a proper third brand. NXT would not be developmental. NXT Evolve would be developmental, meaning NXT becomes a proper third brand. That would be a big deal, because I do think that NXT has got a bit of an identity crisis, because you've got people that are, you know, you've got people like Karrion, we're waiting for them to leave and go to Raw and SmackDown. You've got people like Balor, and it's like, well, when's he going back to the main roster? Like, I think the perception is that NXT is not equal to Raw and SmackDown. If you bring in NXT Evolve and make it very clear that NXT Evolve is the new developmental and NXT is a third brand, I mean, there's other things you would have to do. You know, it would have to be represented at WrestleMania. It would have to be, you know, represented at Survivor Series. If it's a proper third brand, I don't think it's going to help by not treating it the same as the other brands. You've got to treat it the same. The other thing that makes a big difference is NXT's titles would have to be recognized as world titles. Again, if it's going to be the same as the others, you've got to recognize it the same as the others. So, you know, like how Randy Orton is a 16-time world champ or whatever, 15-time world champ. That's because he's won the WWE or the Universal. NXT title would have to be seen as that same level. It would have to. If it's a third brand and it's equal to Raw and SmackDown, then you would have to put all of these changes in as well. So yeah, I at the moment, like, it's got this identity crisis of, is it developmental? Is it a third brand? If they bring in NXT Evolve, they can really clean that up, and that would help. That really would help. Because the conversation then isn't, when is Karrion moving to a Raw or SmackDown? You know, the conversation then isn't that NXT feeds the other brands. It's actually NXT Evolve that feeds the brands. So people that do well in NXT Evolve would go to Raw, would go to SmackDown, would go to NXT. It wouldn't be that NXT feeds the other brands anymore. So that would be a big seismic change. But if Triple H is talking about evolving and the next step, and Regal says it's time for a change, and I don't know, it definitely feels like we're on the verge of something big. Definitely feels that way. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. We do know that NXT Evolve is on the way. I mean, that was reported ages ago. So that's not something, that's not pie in the sky. That's not, yeah, they're never going to do that. It's heavily rumoured it's on the way. So, yeah, NXT Evolve. Because they bought Evolve. You might remember, was it last year? They bought Evolve. And Evolve was kind of like an indie, kind of like a Ring of Honor, kind of a promotion. But they had a lot of great talent that passed through Evolve. And they decided to buy that and get the roster, and I don't really quite know what they wanted to do with it. I think they wanted the video library, because there's a lot of WWE stars that have been in Evolve. So if you go on the network, you'll find loads of Evolve shows. So I think they wanted the library. But also, they got a few stars, a few of the talents. But they probably got the name as well. And they're probably looking at what they can do with all of that. And is it Gabe Sapolsky that was running it? Who's like a really good promoter. I think he even set up Ring of Honor. And then after that, he went and did Evolve. So, yeah. Let's see. We're about to find out. Cal, shout out to you, dude. Right, up and running. Let's see how this goes. This is going to be very, very interesting. Here we go. It's time. Let's see what is said. Let's turn this up. In Your House. I think we got a little In Your House recap. It's NXT time. Two days ago. Do you know what's weird? I really I can't believe that's 2 days ago. It feels like last night. Was that not last night? What was last night? Raw was last night. Cal said, I thought of that because of how Samoa Joe in charge. Yeah, I could see why you would think of it. I could definitely see why you'd think of it. That evolve word definitely sticks out, doesn't it? And what with the whole change being in the air, I could definitely see that. I don't know how that would fit in, though. The only thing I'm not sure is, you know, NXT is out of control. So NXT needs to have order restored to it. So how does starting NXT Evolve now bring order to NXT? I suppose they could say it changes the landscape of NXT. It's going to help bring order to NXT. Maybe they'll just word it that way. I'm not sure. He says there's bedlam. I think it's time for a change. The way he delivers that, I think it's time for a change. And then he walks off and he's like, it's like stabbing me in the heart. We're at the Capitol Wrestling Center. Let's see. It's time for answers. Let's get these answers. Regal? Yeah. Regal's graphics are here. It's Regal. Regal's... Where's the music? Where's the music? They've got the video. They've got his video playing, but there's no music. Bum, bum, bum. There's no music. Regal's jumped into the ring. So we are starting with Regal. Where's the music? Right, here we go. So, Regal in the ring. He says, please, let me just get this off my chest. I've been with NXT since the beginning, since day one. He says, I started down there on the announce desk. It sounds like he's about to say he's off. He seems a little emotional. He says, I've a lot to say. You can actually see, like, a tear. He said, I watched NXT become this wonderful, beautiful thing. And he talks of going to England and Japan and Australia. Blackpool. He's retiring. His eyes are red. You can see his eyes are watering. He says, any spare moment he's had has been about making NXT the best it can be. This feels very real, you know. This doesn't feel like it's like scripted or a work or... It doesn't feel like polished. He's pacing around in a way, you know. It's not like he's addressing the camera. He's just like walking around the ring and the cameras are having to like follow him around and... I finally decided. I've given you everything I can give you. People. This is depressing. Thank you, Regal, says James Chadwick. I don't think I'm capable of giving you what you deserve anymore. It's time. Right, Karrion Kross's music hits. I'm pleased that someone's interrupted. Hopefully Karrion Kross can just come down, slap him and say, pull yourself together, man. Pull yourself together. You've still got plenty to give. He was moments away from saying, I can't give you any more. I think it's time. Karrion's hit. Look, Karrion's laughing. I'll become a Karrion Kross stan if he can find a way of convincing Regal to stay. Here's Kross. Her and I always knew this day would come. Is he being a bit heelish? What's this? What's Kross's problem with Regal? What's this about? Kross says, are you crying, Mr. Regal? You're pathetic? What's this? I thought, like, wasn't Kross a face? I thought everyone was, like, cheering him, thinking he was cool. And now he's coming out calling Regal pathetic. Samoa Joe's about to beat his ass. This is something new. It's gripping stuff. It's a brilliant start to the show. I want you to tell these people that you're leaving. I want him to say now, I'm not leaving. I've just took on a deputy. Ba-bum, bum, bum. Ba-bum. Well, I don't like him anymore. Few little facts for you. Not a Kross fan anymore. Hoo ha, hoo ha, hoo ha. Bum bum bum, bum bum, bum bum bum. There's a bad man making his way down to the ring. Joe, 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 Joe. Ah, hey, Triple H did good, didn't he? Oh, Triple H did good here. Now this is a match, isn't it? Mr. Regal, I believe you wanted to speak with me. See what Regal's got to say. I want you to be the new GM. So Samoa Joe is being offered the new GM role. Regal, please. Please, come on. He says no. Good. Good. Yes, Joe. Yes, Joe. Yes, Joe. I'm a Samoa Joe stan now. Yes, Joe. Preach it, Joe. Preach it. I want him to turn it down because he wants Regal to still be GM. Say that you'll be deputy GM. I'll make you an offer. Always afforded you respect. Okay, okay, here we go. Where's this going? This is so good. I'll ensure you get the respect you deserve from everyone. So is he coming in like an enforcer role? Yeah, Regal says that's an interesting idea. Can't be a competitor. Can't lay a hand on anyone. Well, where's the fun in this then? Unless provoked. Unless provoked. You can't lay a hand on anyone unless provoked. Joe accepts. Samoa Joe steps to Karrion Kross and says, "What are you still doing in this ring?" Joe's cool, isn't he? TikTok young champion. Joe is gonna kill you. Joe is gonna kill you. This is like some of the best 15 minutes of the year. Wrestling wise, this has been this is just some of the best. There's been so many twists and turns. Didn't know what he was going to say. Looked like he was about to walk away. Karrion comes down. All of a sudden, Karrion becomes the biggest heel in the world. Then out of nowhere, Joe comes down. Then Regal offers Joe the GM role. Then Joe declines. Then Joe says, "I'll be your enforcer." Seems to accept. Karrion then has now had to leave the ring. I mean, all in the space of 15 minutes. This has been absolutely edge of the seat. Wonderful. Compelling. Captivating. Fantastic TV. Absolutely brilliant. The bad man Samoa Joe is in NXT, and that was awesome. It was awesome. What a start. Amazing start, says Daniel. Greatest segment ever, says Chris. I'm at a 10 out of 10 for NXT so far. That's an amazing start. Do you know what? It's hard to argue, isn't it? It's hard to argue with that. I mean, I don't know how you could have made that much better. Regal comes down. He seems very honest. It felt a bit awkward, actually, the way that he was, like, not looking at the camera and, like, kept pacing around, and he looked very uncomfortable. And they kept having to switch camera angles to just try and keep up with him. It really came across as not polished, not manufactured. It felt awkward, to be honest. Purposefully, they made it feel awkward. So I was kind of intrigued by the presentation of it. And then, Karrion coming down. It's just brilliant. There's not really much point sitting here and analysing it. We've kind of said stuff as we've been going along, but it is brilliant. I mean, that to me is what wrestling can do. That is how great wrestling can be. Really compelling story. All done in the ring. Great promos all round. Lovely surprise in there as well. I mean, you got to remember, that's not the biggest, hardest thing they've ever done. Do you know what I mean? It's not as if they've just got The Rock. Like, don't forget, Samoa Joe was just on the main roster, like, doing commentary. I'm pretty sure if Triple H wanted him, he could have got him at any point. I'm pretty sure Triple H could have sorted something out if he wanted to do that. I mean, there's so much potential for WWE to have those kinds of moments. There's so many, like, great talents that are undervalued, underutilized, that deserve opportunity. And Samoa Joe, absolutely. What a great moment. And as we've said, not even that hard to pull off. I mean, WWE made it harder by letting him go and then having to bring him back again. So WWE made it hard on themselves. But they could have had that moment at any point. You didn't need Samoa Joe to be let go for that moment to feel that big. Do you know what I mean? All you just needed to do was take Samoa Joe off TV, have him replace Samoa Joe with, Adnan Virk or whatever on commentary, take him off TV. Everyone could be like, well, what are they doing with Samoa Joe? And that moment would still have been as big. You didn't need to fire Samoa Joe and bring him back for that moment to feel like that. But how brilliant is it? How brilliant is it? Even though it's relatively simple, how fantastic and impactful was that? So good. Walker Danger says, does any game excite you on E3? What did you think of E3 this year? I think Nintendo won. Metroid, Zide, Mario Party, Avatar look cool. I haven't seen, dude. I've been all over the Euros and all of this, so I really haven't seen. If I get a chance after to look at some stuff, I'll try and do that, but I've not seen a single thing. Pulling our heartstrings, making us think we're losing Regal. Dang, Triple H. Brony said it was extremely brilliant. Regal is still GM, but Joe is an enforcer. I love that. I love that. I love... Because when Regal said, I'm not going to... I can't carry on, I'm going to step down. I love that Samoa Joe was like, I can't accept that. I love that. Because they could have had William Regal, step to one side and had done something else with him. But the respect that has been shown William Regal there, do you know what I mean? They could easily, if you think about the main roster, the amount of times that Vince chops and changes his commentators, I mean, there's no loyalty there. Loyalty, that's the word. That's the word, loyalty. You don't. There's a degree of loyalty that's just been shown William Regal that you don't always see on the main roster, and it's fantastic to see in NXT. It's fantastic to see. They talk about it being a family and we are NXT and all of this kind of stuff. And they've really shown that there. Because they could have parted ways with William Regal. Pushed him to a back row. Do you know what I mean? Easy. They could easily have just made him like, a background thing. Just doing stuff behind the scenes. But if Regal wants to stay doing something like this, then they've made that happen. And I think that's awesome. Right. Imperium versus Grizzled Young Veterans. Grizzled Young Veterans. I'm gonna tweet out about that. I know not everyone joins us on these streams, but I really wanna say how much I loved that moment. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. Him being face to face with Kross as well. What are you still doing in this ring? What a segment. Fire. Where's the fire emoji gone? Let's find the old fire emoji. What a segment. Fire. No, I don't want chips. I don't need that. We're underway with Breezango. Some of the best wrestling. No. What a segment. I love Regal. Him and Finlay was awesome. Yeah, we've got what? The Grizzled Young Brett Race do not face bruised ego. Huh? It was amazing, says Other Mother. What a segment. Some of the most compelling wrestling TV of the year. Samoa Joe is back and looks like a killer. Plus William Regal. Just put me through all the emotions. Yeah, man. So good. It's going to be hard to focus on the rest of the show after this, isn't it? It really is. Going Ghost said, just thought maybe they fired Joe from the main roster because they wanted NXT to stand out as its own thing and not just the third WWE show. No, I mean, the rumours are they fired him and Triple H was appalled and immediately called him and said, I'll take you for NXT. So I'm not sure that the two are connected. Happy Joe didn't go to AEW and become All Elite Joe. I'm just looking at what the top trend is. The top trend in America right now is WWE NXT, unsurprisingly. I wondered if, Regal might be trending or something. Amaruto says, breaking news, Sami Callihan has been... Oh, no. Amaruto says, has been fired from Impact by Don Callis. Just put a bad taste in my mouth. Retribution, shout out to you, buddy. Change GMV. Oh, to Breezango. Sorry, I'm not focused on this. I'm not focused on this segment. I'm still thinking about what we've just seen. We do have Grizzled Young Veterans coming up. We've got them taking on Ciampa and Thatcher, haven't we? Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor. No, he's just said that he can't compete. He's just said, that's part of the agreement. You can be here, but you can't be a competitor, and you can't put your hands on anyone unless provoked. Andros Lopez said that segment was so good. Days doesn't even know who's fighting right now. It's true. It's true. I'm like, yeah. It was so good. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, it's so good that, what do you say? I can't fault it. It's brilliant. I'm so pleased that he stays as GM. I'm so pleased that he stays as GM. So, yeah, I'm buzzing about that. Drake Maverick, Samoa Joe, I guess every time we get layoffs, at least one of them will be a work. Oh, I don't know. The Drake Maverick one upset me a lot. Something about that. I don't know if he was genuinely let go and then they saw the video and brought him back. I don't know. It's something about it just never sat right. With this one, I think he genuinely was let go. And then, because the rumours were he was let go and Triple H was really upset about it and brought him back. So I would hate to think that the Samoa Joe one was a work. I would really hate to think that. Harley said, in my opinion, Roman J. Jimmy backstage segment from a couple of weeks ago, the one where Roman calls Jay Jimmy, is still the best segment of the year, but it is very close. Robin said, was that the best segment of the year? For me, I'd need a quick reminder of some other segments, to be honest. But for me, I'm thinking it is. I can't think of anything that has put me through emotion quite like what that did. I mean, I feel like some of the best segments have been Roman ones, but there's something very special about William Regal. William Regal, in a slight way, it's not the best comparison, but it's the best I can come up with. He's sort of like this generation's Gorilla Monsoon. So do you remember when like Vader attacked Gorilla Monsoon? And like that was just the worst thing you could do. Like Gorilla Monsoon is just loved. And you do not put your hands on Gorilla Monsoon. And I kind of feel like William Regal is sort of around that territory. I kind of think that it's a little bit like that. And as a result, I kind of, I don't know. I feel for William Regal. I feel like Regal never got what he deserved. I feel that William Regal should always have achieved more in his wrestling career. I think that he is someone that was overlooked, undervalued, and I think that, you know, some of the best times he's had in wrestling have been as GM of NXT. I think he's been brilliant in this role, and I think he's loved by the NXT fans. I think that he's a bit of a connection to NXT when it was just an hour back on the network, the kind of the older days of NXT, and you know, NXT has grown and changed a lot, but Regal kind of connects it back to that, and I think there's a lot of like a little bit of nostalgia. I know it's only been going 7 years, but there's a little bit of nostalgia there. It's been through a lot of changes. You know, it's gone from being just developmental to being on the network to now being on our network and maybe not being developmental so much now and going to 2 hours and blah, 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 blah. So I kind of feel like there's a lot of love for William Regal. So I think any segment that's going to involve him potentially retiring, potentially leaving forever, and the return of like Samoa Joe, and yeah, I personally can't think of a segment better than that this year. But maybe I'm forgetting something. Perhaps someone's going to say, well, what about... And I'll go, oh yeah. But off the top of my head, I can't think of one. TR Go-Go said, these are the types of segments that can put NXT back on track and full steam ahead. Sonny said, I miss Joe. I made Nanamio bars and burnt... What the hell is a Nanamio bar? I don't even know what one of them is. Dude, you missed an incredible segment. The opening segment here is just... It's just... Regal was very emotional during that, says Wrestling Kid. Days, will you give it a high score today? Well, I mean, we're well on track for that, absolutely. I mean, yes, we're right up there. I mean, OMG moments take us into 8s. The thing is, can the rest of the show deliver? Do you know what I mean? We're up here right now. So can the rest of the show come through with a solid show? If this is going to be a solid show with that big opening segment, then yeah, we're right up there. We're right up there. Check Discord. Ooh, I'll do it after. I always get a bit nervy about doing it when I'm streaming, because sometimes there can be a little bit of lag if I try to do too much on the computer at the same time. So I'll do it after. I'm disappointed in myself for choosing chocolate over Joe. Right, we're well underway with this match. Inside Cradle, 2, 3. Breezango get a win over Imperium. TR Go, shout out to you, my friend. Tragogo. Breezango have managed to get an inside Cradle and get a win. Is it Fandango that's moving a little bit slow? I think Fandango someone seemed to be moving a little bit slow. The way that Fandango just eased himself out the ring there made me think, has he picked up a small injury or something? Breezango win, yep. My boys Breezango finally win, says Nofreeze. Tyler Breeze is down. Imperium have got an Imperium flag, and they lay it over the top of Tyler Breeze. It's a good aerial shot, isn't it? There's a camera from above that shows Breezango, one on the outside, one in the ring with the Imperium flag on top. Right, we've got Adam Cole and we've got Kyle O'Reilly. So, the Regal says that Cole and O'Reilly can fight next week. Oh, here's Joe. Here's Joe. Adam Cole just touched Joe. Adam Cole just touched Joe. Oh, look at it. Look at Joe. Cole's gone to sleep. Kirakuda clutch. Oh. I wonder if Regal likes or is concerned about what he's done here. In all fairness, he said you can't do anything unless provoked. Cole just touches Regal. Touches Samoa Joe. The jacket comes off. Yeah, already, I know, yeah. Maybe they could have saved that for, like, the future. Like, the seed had been planted. Don't do anything unless provoked. I'm not sure, like, 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later was the right time to play that card. I kind of feel like that's a card that could have been played in the future, but, well, whatever. Whatever, they're giving us everything. They're giving us everything right now. That was awesome, says Jeremy. That's the first time he's done that in a year. Cole shoved Joe. Joe was provoked. He was provoked. William Regal didn't have anything to say about it. Yeah, good night. Hey, this is absolutely game changing, isn't it? This is game changing. That segment had such energy. I'm so used to seeing two people brawl that you kind of go, yeah, okay, they're making a match for next week. But seeing Samoa Joe come in and, like, choking out Adam Cole, like, you don't see that. don't see an official putting their hands on like a wrestler and putting them to sleep or whatever. So Joe just looks like a killer, doesn't he? He looks more like a killer now than ever before. Adam Cole just briefly touches into Joe and Joe just puts him asleep. See? Like, it's the easiest thing in the world. It's good, man. The only thing is, the more that Joe does stuff like that, obviously it'll have a slightly less effect each time, so I hope they don't overdo it. But it's going to get to the point where people are going to want to see Joe have a match. Like, if Joe's going to be, like manhandling people and really holding his own, there's going to come a point where people are like, people are going to be desperate for him to have a match. And I really hope he will be able to have a match in the future. Because that'll be... Imagine if we never get another Samoa Joe match. I mean, I just can't imagine it. I can't imagine never getting another Samoa Joe match. Where is Casino? I think we've had a Casino around a little bit, bud. Time to build up Joe's role a bit. And have him in a match with Kross in the near future. CZ Draws says, NXT is revived. It has got wonderful energy. It has got wonderful energy. Days, I thought that was hilarious in the first segment. Regal was like, you can't do anything unless provoked. Joe says deal, and then 20 minutes later, Adam Cole is passing out. Yeah, but my friend told me to get a vaccine. Where is Casino? Casino's been around. Guys, come on. We've got one of the best openings to NXT ever, and everyone's like, where's Casino? LS Dub said, this show has been fun. It's been good, man. I can't believe Samoa Joe appeared, says Chris Hall. Butterspark said, that is what they are doing. NXT are leading up to a Joe match. Brony said, the only thing I saw on the show was the opening. My TV is acting up. Well, I mean, in all fairness, you saw a great segment. Even if you only saw the opening, it's not the end of the world. But that little bit there was good. Why is Joe on NXT? I don't think they had anything from the main roster. For some reason, Vince didn't seem to be that taken with his commentary. But I thought his commentary was good. Really good. So, I don't think he can wrestle, to be honest. I don't think he can wrestle. And I think that as a result, you know, they didn't need him as a commentator and he can't wrestle. So what could he do? I mean, I suppose he could have been a manager or something. I suppose, but if they are genuinely trying to save money, then I suppose I can get why they let him go, but I don't like it. But anyway, doesn't matter. NXT feel that they can use him, and so they've brought him in there. Michael, shout out to you. Just hearing from Legado del Fantasma. R.I.P. to the container that exploded in the microwave earlier. Days, Samoa Joe on commentary would be epic. Ellis Dub said the energy to this show has been different, and I really appreciate the change in pace. I like that. I like that. Right, here comes Kushida's open challenge. So, a few conflicting reports here, or thoughts, not reports, but thoughts as to who this could be. I don't think it's anyone big, but I've seen a few people saying that it could be, but I don't think it would be. I don't think they'd bring someone big out now. Ah, well, here we go. Trey Baxter's going to be the person, is it? This is fine. I got no issue with seeing this dude. I love seeing a little vignette. All heart. Have to see what Dre Baxter can do. Getting a bit of like a Jordan Devlin, Wesley vibe from him. If you're not watching and you want to get an idea what this dude's like. White guy, ginger hair, and little bit Pete Dunne, little bit Wesley, little bit Jordan Devlin. Eric Defcon Prime Dirigi says Snoochie Boochie. Big figure haul for us this week. Have you got some good stuff coming, have you, bud? No, I didn't get his name anyway. This guy, what's his name again? Trey Baxter. Trey Baxter. Eric, what have you got? Let me know. Not try Baxter. Well, yeah, do try Baxter. Make sure you try. What if Joe turns on Regal? Oh, I'd hate that. What do you think of YouTube TikTok? I didn't watch it. I'm Kyle. I was watching UFC 263. The Ginger Avenger, says Birdman. Boom. Days, what do you think? Oh, I read that one. He looks like a small Murphy. Oh, yeah, that's a good shout. That's a good shout. Small Murphy. That's a very good comparison. Kushida in control. So, all Kushida at the moment. Days, I just picked up some new figures. John Moxley, SCU, Lucha Bros, Kenny Omega, and Tanahashi. Very cool. Days, Joe gets his job for 20 minutes and he's already killed Adam Cole. Days, is O'Reilly facing Cole today? No, I think Regal said next week they'll face each other. This week they've got to pick like some opponents to get the aggression out of their system. So, no, they don't face each other this week. They'll face each other next week. Days, what soccer game did I miss today? I was in hospital. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, bud. Have you ever heard of Blake Christian? This is him. I can't say I have, no. I can't say I have. The name doesn't ring a bell. Nice kip up. Against the ropes. Head scissor takedown. What games did you miss today? You missed France against Germany, 1-0 France, and you missed Portugal-Hungary, 3-0 Portugal. Top rope enziguri by Murphy. Murphy! You've got me thinking it is now. That was a genuine mistake I made there. You have got me thinking this is Murphy. He just, is all right, but I can't say that there's really anything here that's grabbing me all that much. Kushida is really hung up on the ropes, though. Baxter being dragged to the edge of the ring. This is all a bit weird. It's all a bit clunky. Kushida goes out the ring. Baxter going against the ropes over the top. Comes crashing down onto Kushida. That draws an NXT chant. Did Joe attack yet? Yes. Here's O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly is on the entrance ramp watching, and we go to commercial break. I don't know. This dude's not really grabbing me so far, to be honest. He's alright. Blake Christian wrestled his final pay-per-view at No Surrender, ending his Impact Wrestling stint in X Division Championship number 1 contender gauntlet match, won by Josh Alexander. That was a little sloppy, says Don. It's like when on Raw and a wrestler, brackets, it might have been Seth, threatened the commentary table. Joe stood up and said that you're not going to do anything to anyone at this table. Yeah, that was cool. I think, wasn't that, wasn't Seth intimidating Michael Cole or something around that time? That was when it was at the Performance Center, wasn't it? I remember that. That was cool. Do you also remember when, do you remember when he was emotionally handcuffed or whatever it was? He was talking about, like, Dominic or something, and Seth. And, I think he stood up for Dominic. And then he went and sat down, and Dominic ended up getting attacked, but he didn't actually do anything to help Dominic then. And he was like, I'm emotionally handcuffed or something like this. So he wasn't allowed to get involved as a commentator. It was all a bit, I wasn't too sure about that bit. I would have loved Samoa Joe to have got up off the desk then and gone over to have helped Dominic. That would have been cool. Because that was when Dominic was being walloped with the kendo sticks. Remember, he was tied in the ropes. And I think it was like Murphy and Seth were just absolutely battering him. And then, like, they showed the picture after of, like, all the marks on Dominic from where he'd been absolutely battered. And, like, Samoa Joe just had to sit there and just watch. That bit didn't quite work as well. But I do remember that point that you was talking about. That was awesome. Eric said, I found my holy grail, a blue blazer mint on cards. But he is getting opened, says Eric Defcon Prime. Very cool. Justin says, NXT new cruiserweight talent, Carmelo Hayes and Trey Baxter. It was on Tom Phillips. Oh, was he intimidating Tom Phillips? Seth? I remember it being Michael Cole. But I don't disagree. I just remember it being Michael Cole. Samoa Joe was the first to find out that Zelina had poisoned Montez. That's true. Why is Calvin Phillips in NXT? Because he can do anything. Because he's the best. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop watching NXT, but I was Samoa Joe thinking NXT is bad right now because of the coronavirus. Who have you got out of the Korean Zombie or Danny Ige? I need to do my research for it, to be honest. My gut feeling is probably Korean Zombie, but I need to have a proper look through their recent fights and everything. So many fighters, it's hard to remember like recent performances, and so I have to always go back and watch them. Takes ages, and it's going to be so hard this week with all the football, but I'll find a way. But my gut feeling would be Korean Zombie. I clicked create a random wrestler on 2K20 and Baxter came up, says Eric Defcom. I clicked on Buddy Murphy and Baxter came up. I do love that Buddy Murphy comparison. I think it does look just like him. R.I.P. Adam Cole, 89 to 2021. Baxter landing on his feet. Atomic drop. Into the corner goes Baxter. Let's watch him. I've not seen him. Let's see how he does. Against the ropes. Looking for a hip toss. Drop kick by Kushida. Kushida goes for a kick. Goes for a clothesline. Goes for an enziguri. Baxter against the ropes. Slumps down. Kushida against the ropes. Baxter duck underneath. Baxter. Enziguri, that's nice. That's nice. Kyle O'Reilly seems to like what he sees there. NXT needs to hit the road. The same fans week in, week out is getting tiresome, says Cerebral Assassin. Baxter looks like a young Murphy to me, says David Robert Wood. Kyle is at ringside watching this. He is. He is. Forearm strike by Baxter. Days, is O'Reilly trying to find an opponent? I'm not sure what he's doing. I don't know why he'd be picking one of these. They're having a match right now. And he's a face, so you wouldn't think that he would want to be putting someone through this. Spanish Fly. Nice splash. 1, 2, shoulder up. Yeah, I don't really get why O'Reilly is there. That Spanish Fly is not great. Springboard's great. This springboard's really good. Kind of hits his knees a little early on it, but that's just nitpicking. For a first show in, this is all right. Goes to the hoverboard lock. Can't get it. Elbows to the side of the head. Jumps down. Days, that segment with Regal was absolutely amazing. NXT gets a 10 for me. I'm so happy Regal is going to stay. Absolutely. The Spanish Fly was amazing. Yeah, the rotation didn't look right on it. It's kind of, the landing looked a bit awkward. Kushida wins. Kushida wins. In Peacock, you have to sign up. Days, do you acknowledge Robin as the tribal chief? Sure. Nico Guy says Kushida wins. Yep. Capsman says Leo Rush's Spanish Fly was pretty good. Well, I don't know why Kyle O'Reilly is there. Maybe we're going to find that out now. He was told to find an opponent. I don't think he's going to pick one of these, is he? Why would he do that? So, Baxter rolls out the ring. Kyle O'Reilly applauds, gives him a tap. O'Reilly jumps into the ring. Kushida. I'm not out here to accept a challenge. Kyle O'Reilly says next week, you and me. I thought he was facing Adam Cole next week. So Kyle O'Reilly says, I want to fight the best. You want to fight the best. Next week, you and me. I mean, look, Kushida against O'Reilly is going to be a fantastic match. Right, we got Frankie Monet. What the people want is more Monet. So I think she's having another match. She said next week will be the encore performance of her world premiere. Talking to Jesse and Aliyah. Thought they had it one at TakeOver. Don't know what that was. Don't know what that was. They just walked off and we go to commercial break. Who are these people? I didn't get that. Frankie Monet was like, I thought you had it won at TakeOver. They didn't have a match at TakeOver. Were they at TakeOver? I didn't. I was watching it and I was like, what is she on about? I don't even know what she's on about. I was just telling them I thought you had it won. I thought, at TakeOver. What is she on about? Does anyone know what she's on about? Cole versus O'Reilly is at Great American Bash. I thought Regal says fight next week and find an opponent for this week. They're just changing stuff on the fly. I really don't understand how Raw is nowhere near SmackDown and NXT. Is it really down for it being 3 hours? I don't know. I don't know if it's the writing. I don't know if it's like the creative, lack of creative. I don't know if it's USA Network just aren't as involved as Fox are, or I don't know. But Raw does seem to be, struggling. Maybe the 3 hours is just too much compared to NXT that's 2 and SmackDown that's 2. Silent Yoshi says they had an extra match. It was maybe on the pre-show. No, we watched the pre-show. There wasn't a match on the pre-show. There was a dart match at TakeOver. Well, how are we meant to know this? Flip. So I watched the shows. I watched the pre-show. I watched the actual show. And yet they still reference something that I've got no knowledge of and haven't seen. That must have been, perhaps they thought we were going to be shown it or something. I don't know. I don't know. That feels a bit off. Perhaps we were meant to get that dart match on as a pre-show match originally, and so that's why she said this, because I don't know. I followed the shows and I haven't got a clue what she's on about. So if it's some sort of dart match, that's insane. AEW gets criticism for that, where things happen on being the elite and like they don't get mentioned and whatever. So NXT can have some criticism for that. Flip. Well, did they even have a dart match? Unbelievable. Joe choking out Gargano for Regal will be funny. Oh, it'll be funny to see what the Way think of. It'll be funny to see what the Way think of Samoa Joe. Muhammad Ali said, "Is Poppy signed to NXT as their music act?" I don't think she's signed, but I think that they're obviously doing some stuff with her for the most recent takeover, and they've clearly got a great relationship. So I think if ever they need to bring her in for a reason, then for some reason get a track or something like this, then I think she's probably always up for doing it. I think they've just got a really good relationship, and I don't think she's signed or anything though. I think she's kind of just someone that they really enjoy bringing in. And I think she is quite a big artist as well. Right, we are going back to the show. We were just at commercial break, and almost halfway through. We're just seeing Mercedes Martinez re-watching Tian Sha, grabbing her by the throat and throwing her off the entrance stage. I'm the wrong person to mess with. Mercedes says, Boa, if you want to step to Mercedes, you are going to feel the steel again. Next time you won't have a chance to get out of your chair, I will knock you right out of it. Right, we've got the $1 Million Championship in the ring right now. So, $1 Million Championship. So, I'm guessing this is LA Knight's coronation. Dun, dun, dun. Shariah's my future wife, says Cerebral Assassin. Boom, boom. Money, money, money. Here's $1 Million Man. He's been a regular, hasn't he? Money, money. Right. $1 Million bout in the ring. There was a dark match. It was them versus Sarai and Zoe Stark. Okay. So we've got a video package. And we're looking at LA Knight. I think, have we seen this one before? This video vignette thing before? Seeing DiBiase every week is making his prestige a little less important. Sort of like seeing Sting in AEW. I could see Grimes beating LA Knight at Great American Bash. Right, well, there's a car that's arriving. That's got LA Knight inside. He's got his red jacket on and his cigar in his mouth. And he walks into the Capitol Wrestling Center, climbs up the steps. And here is LA Knight. So he just rocks up in the car. Perfect timing. Wow. Perfect timing. Pulls up in the car, jumps out straight into the ring. So $1 Million Man in the ring. LA Knight in the corner. Who has the better theme, DiBiase or Shane? Probably, well, I think DiBiase's is more iconic to me. Okay, so we're sure to see Cameron Grimes, aren't we, at some point? Boos for LA Knight. Are they chanting to the moon? What are they chanting? I think they're chanting to the moon. To the moon. It's not often in life that we get to meet our heroes. He says, I don't know how to describe what I'm thinking or feeling. LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes, $1 Million Championship, Great American Bash. We want Cameron. I think the crowd are chanting now. They've done a good job of getting Cameron Grimes over. The crowd are chanting, we want Cameron. Yeah, the crowd are booing, man. The crowd aren't into this. Oh, they're not into LA Knight. They want Cameron Grimes. He said, I needed you here to express my gratitude and just to say thank you. This is the best moment in my wrestling career. So, $1 Million Man grabs the $1 Million Championship. And he puts it over the shoulder. It looks nice on him, actually. Right, the pyro goes off. We want Cameron chance still. The title looks really small. He seems a bit off. Does anyone else think LA Knight seems a bit off? He just said, I understand everything you're saying, but $1 Million Man didn't say anything. I understand everything you're saying. Maybe that's why he was off, because he just attacks $1 Million Man. Okay, well, this is better. I mean, it kind of felt like something was going on here, and there we go. He attacks $1 Million Man. Wow, so $1 Million Man takes a bump. That's kind of cool, isn't it? The crowd have already chanted, we want Cameron. If he comes down, it's going to get... I must admit, I wasn't expecting $1 Million Man to take a bump. I thought there was a chance that he might say some stuff, but I didn't expect him to, like... I didn't expect $1 Million Man to go down. Where's the hero that we all need? Here he is! To the moon! Here he is, look! To the moon! He's over, man. He is over, isn't he? Cameron Grimes! To the moon! Yeah! He is the man. Cameron Grimes is the man. To the moon. To the moon. Yes. This has worked, isn't it? He is over. He is over. You've crossed the line. Do you know what? That segment felt weird and awkward and a little bit off. But in the end, it's good. In the end, with Cameron coming down, standing up for $1 Million Man, $1 Million Man taking a bump. I like where it got to. The segment was saved, says James. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Where are we? 50 minutes left. Grimes face turn, says Birdman. Grimes is the real $1 Million champion. E-Dog said that segment was great. Chris said, I'm loving NXT tonight. LA Knight is a coward, says Bad Left Hook. Well, we're going to commercial break. Ryan, shout out to you. Days, have you seen Kushida versus Kyle at Best of the Super Juniors? That was excellent. I don't think so, actually. I don't think so. I can totally believe that it was great, though. NXT has been fun, says Robin. Ryan says 8. Oh, yeah, get your halftime scores. Yes, you're right. Let's do it. Halftime scores. What do you think of the show so far? What do you think of the show so far? And it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's up, no, up. Get your scores in. Scott says 7. Brad says 8.5. Austin says 7. Ty Danger says 9. Brony says 7.75. McLean says 8.75. I'm Carl says 100. Justin says 7. Shakeem says 5. Burn It Down says 9. LSW says 8.5. Young Voice says 10. Robin says 9. Brandon says 9.13. Burn It Down says 9. Daniel Wood says 8.5. WWE TJ 8 says 8. Oh, let's go up a little bit. LA Knight Bay 8 says Jim. 995 says Martin. 775 says Brony. 10 out of 10 says Chris. 9 says Burn It Down. 10 says Brandon. 875 says B Mus 55. Silent Yoshi says 5.4. Chad says 9. Burn It Down says 9. Brandon says 9. AA Ron says 8.5. Brony with 775. James Knight says 7. But Spark says 8.9. Sophian says 8.75. Troy says 9. Sweet Trini says 8. Saeed says 9. Segments have been good, but the matches are meh. Yeah, I kind of agree with that, you know. David says 9.5. Andrew says 7.25. Jay says 8.75. Brandon says 9.32. Beamer says 8.5. David Conley says 7.5. Harley says 1.25. Earth Q Wake 64 says 8. 775 says E-Dog. We've got some 9s. Quite a few 9s coming in. Tribal Chief Roman Reigns says 775. Sunny says 7. To the moon! Ricky KV says 7. Yelda says 9. Ryan says 9. Harley said agreed the matches have been... Daniel says 8.5. AG said I just entered. Have I missed a lot? You have. You missed one of the best segments of the year, man. Right at the start. William says 3. There's no supernatural. TR Go says 8.75. Brony 7.75. Jose David says 8.5. Bunker says 5.7. Trina, shout out to you. Marty says 8. Corey says 8. Jason says 7. Muhammad Ali says 7.5. Kevin says 8. Robin says 9. Kevin says 9. Brandon says 9.16. Lots of 7s, lots of 8s, a few 9s. But yeah, some really good scores. There's a phone charge thing or a battery thing that's up to 11%. So something is charging. Wow, there really is a lot of anarchy, isn't there? Look, we've got Samoa Joe. Is Samoa Joe about to choke out the women now? Don't provoke Joe, ladies. Dakota and Raquel are making their way out. Okay, here is Raquel and Dakota. They are having a match, aren't they? Is it against Ember and Shotzi? Days, looking at the chat, I think it's safe to say, what an awful show. When it said 1%, I thought EC3. Well, it's yeah, there was a little battery thing that was going down to 1%, but now it's charging back up again. And it's gone to 11% now. So I don't know what this is. It's literally, it's just a battery icon, and it's like it's being charged. Oh yeah, it's Caden and Casey, isn't it? Okay, Casey and Caden. They're fighting Casey and Caden. Did you know Raquel is dating Strowman? I didn't. No, I didn't know that. I know a few people think they should have waited with Joe attacking someone and build it up, but I love they did it straight away. It made it absolutely hilarious. Could the battery be Roddy? Sure. Why, though? Why Roddy? I mean, it could be, but I'm not sure why. I really like Casey and Caden as a tag team. Yeah, I do as well. I think they would struggle as solo stars. I think Casey's too small, and Caden might do something, but kind of difficult, isn't it, to stand out? They might be able to get some out of Caden, but as a tag team, I really like them together. Yeah. D Money Parker, shout out to you. Other Mother, good night. We are 40 odd minutes away from the end. The battery is CM Punk, says Corey. That's right. I meant the WWE star Bayley. She is a funny heel. Maybe it's a power-up. When it reaches 100, then Diamond Mine opens. Another WWE legend disrespected. When does he get the AEW graphic? I would like to see Casey and Caden as tag champs, to be honest. Is Casey dating Ricochet? She certainly was. I don't know if she still is. I'm not sure. She's got some kind of a submission hold here on Raquel, but Raquel able to get out of it. Nice, back into the corner. Collides into Raquel. Look at the size difference between Casey and Raquel. Casey takes Raquel's leg away. Casey on the shoulders of Raquel. Is it going to be a powerbomb? No. Casey lands on her feet, duck underneath. Over the top. Head scissor. There are a lot of gymnastics here. Spinning to the outside, crashing down onto Dakota. Crossbody to the outside. That was kind of nice. That was a nice crossbody by Caden. I think we're going to commercial. Casey is good in the ring. That was awesome, says Sean. I love how smooth they work together, says Chris. I'm down with Caden Carter. She is half Filipino. Yeah, so we are at commercial break. Yeah, we're underway with this match. This NXT is a lot better than the NXT pay-per-view last Sunday, says David Robert Woods. These girls should be on the main roster, says Shola. Yeah. I must admit, I'm not feeling Casey in the ring. I think that she can do some really impressive stuff. I think that she's obviously small, so she has to use her agility. But there's just a few moments where, like, I just kind of see her bouncing off the ropes there, or doing a handstand or something, and like Dakota has to kind of run into it. I mean, I just kind of feel like it's a little bit. I don't feel like I'm watching a fight. I just kind of feel like I know it's the classic criticism. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people say this about Young Bucks matches, but it's just sort of like it does feel a bit like a performance. I don't really feel like I'm watching a wrestling match. I feel like I'm watching like some sort of performance, and I feel like I should be applauded or something. I'm not sure. With, like, you know, when Caden's in there, I feel like I'm watching a match, and when I feel like I'm like Raquel's in there or something, I feel like I'm watching the match. But there are like a few flips and things where I don't know. I feel like I should hold up some scorecards, like 6-0, 6-0, like that. You know what I mean? Very good. No, she's landed that very well. When Casey lands, she should do the. Do you know what I mean? And then we all gently applaud. But I understand that she has to use those kind of attacks because of her size. Like, she doesn't have power, so she kind of has to use her opponent's momentum against them. So I do kind of get that. But I don't know. A couple of them things there, I'm like, not for me. Is it because she's smaller? Well, yeah, as I said, you know, because she's smaller, she does have to come up with that kind of a way of an offense, because she doesn't have the strength, you know, so she kind of has to use her momentum. So I do get it, but there's just a couple of moments there where I'm like, just feels a little bit like they're working together a little bit too much, but no big criticism. I do like them as a team. I do like them as a team. They feel like a proper women's tag team, you know. I suppose that's good for NXT, but once they go to like Raw or SmackDown, I don't know if the future's that bright for the women's tag division up there, you know. There's not that many women up there, and like the tag division isn't really booked all that well. So, I don't know, I just worry about them a little bit. In NXT, they'll be fine because there are women's tag titles. But once they go up, they might struggle a little bit. The women's tag titles don't seem to be a priority up on the main roster. Right, we're back with this match from the commercial break, and Raquel Gonzalez has got Casey, and she's really bending her over her knee. Quite a nasty-looking backbreaker there. Knees strikes by Casey. Raquel in control. Casey into the corner, goes down. She went into the corner hard there. Dakota with a big boot. Drags Casey to kick out by Casey. Days, I can't lie, I'm digging Samoa Joe as this enforcer character. It gives Regal some protection or help, like what we saw earlier with Cole. I'm really pleased for Joe. Thoughts? Yeah, I love it. I think it's one of the best segments I've seen all year. That opening segment was just fire. It's just brilliant. I really like it, yeah. And, you know, if Regal's not around, you know, they've got Joe. So, it'd be good if, like, Joe had the ability. It'd be good if, like, Joe was the deputy. So, like, if Regal's not around, Joe can make decisions. So, I'm sure they'll do that. Into the edge of the ring goes Dakota, and Casey gets into the ring. Could a tag team work in UFC? I have thought about that, you know. I have thought about that. It'd be very, very difficult because I don't know. I don't know that tag team would work, but what about if you had like two guys working together, two on two, and all four are like fighting at the same time? So like a duo championship or something. I did wonder that. I don't know if you'd get it authorized or whatever. I don't know. Against Ropes goes, but like I don't think you could do tag teams because no one's gonna want to tag out, are they? Do you know what I mean? Because like the guys are quite proud and strong and never give up. Do you know what I mean? And like tagging out might be a sign of weakness. I'm just kind of like, could you imagine Conor McGregor ever tagging out? Like, I don't think you could do it as a tag match. If you was going to do it in UFC, I think you'd have to put 4 guys into the cage, and literally it's just, the first one to submit, then that team loses. Or the first team to... If someone gets knocked out, that team loses. If someone gets knocked out or someone submits, then that team loses. I think you'd have to do it that way. But I don't think it would ever be sanctioned. And certainly the UFC has never thought about it. Sidewalk slam by Raquel and shoulder up by Kadem. That's a good question. I don't know if tag teams would work in UFC. No, I don't think tag teams would work personally. But I did wonder. The thing is, you've got a lot of people that train in the same gyms. So you've got... Do you know what I mean? You could do, like, team... American Top Team, ATT. Or Team Fortis. Or, Team Shooter Box. Or there's so many, like, gyms around the world. You could have 2 guys represent the gym, take on 2 guys represent a different gym. It's a proper out there thing. It's proper out there. Make no mistake about it. It could be the worst idea in the world. But sometimes it's good to think out the box. Dakota charging over. Shoulder by Casey. She throws her... I don't know. That was all right. She kind of like chucked her up and over her head, and Casey came crashing down. Top rope enziguri by Kadem. Drop kick by Casey. Raquel goes up over to the outside. Nice kick by Kadem. Casey. Dakota charging over. Kick by Kadem. Casey and Caden are proving very problematic to Dakota and Raquel here. .450 splash. Shoulder up by Dakota. Casey gets dragged out the ring. She drives. That was cool. It's probably the best match we've seen tonight. There's been some good moments in here. Top rope enziguri by Dakota. That'll do it. Late, got my second vaccine. To boy, shout out to you. WWE TJ8 says, great match. Anthony said, Days, what if the battery charges by the end of the night and something happens? Well, we've only got half an hour. Maybe. Silent Yoshi said, fire match. Robin says Dakota wins. Days, where is Austin? I hope he is okay. I'm sure he's fine. Hit rower destroying a doll's house. What's that? Okay, well, we've got Everrise. I don't remember them beating up a doll's house. Okay, well, Everrise are upset that their doll's house has been attacked. What the flip is going on? Here's EO. EO next. Does EO even matter if Poppy isn't around? That's the big question, isn't it? Does EO even count as a thing if Poppy isn't around? Subculture. Just got an advert for NXT UK. I was just watching that. What did the house ever do to you? Hit row, hit row, hit row. Hit row, hit row. Hopefully one day they'll have me at TakeOver. I'll just walk out. I'll walk out. Hit row, hit row, hit row. I'll introduce them. E.O. Shirai. Joe is the assistant GM. The real question is, who is the NXT Women's Champ before Raquel? Certainly doesn't feel like it. She needs to be separate from Dakota Kai already. Who is the Women's Champ? It doesn't feel that it's Raquel Gonzalez. Days, they thought that was Lily's house. LS Dub said LS Dub says UFC could do where there is only one fighter in the octagon at a time, but the fighter for each team alternates each round. That's interesting. Harley said, Days, when it reaches 100%, Daniel Bryan will get added, and not a GM, not an enforcer, but a special enforcer. He's always trying to shoehorn his way in, isn't he? Alex said, have you heard about the Von Erich curse? It seemed that family either passed away at a young age, passing away before 34. An unfortunate suicide is a factor as well. Yeah, there's a really good Dark Side episode on the Von Erichs. If you've not seen it, or maybe you have seen it, but yeah, check it out. Ryan said, you bringing out Hit Row would be classic. Guys, here's a group that I think is awfully cringe, but, you know, whatevs. People seem to like them. Hit row, hit row, hit row. Hit row, hit row. I'd be giving it some of this. This is what the kids do, innit? A little bit of that. I'd get a fidget spinner out. That's what the kids do, innit, guys? Fidget spinning away. I might even have two on the go at the same time. Hit row, hit row, hit row. Flossing. Hit row if you're watching. It's not a problem. If you need me for anything in the UK, hit me up. Send me a fax. Fax machine is plugged in. Feel free to or page me. Page me if you want to page me. Just send me a page, and yeah, I'll come over and do that for you. E-Dog says this NXT is better than SmackDown. Basti said Days fidget spinners are dead, and so is flossing. What a boomer! Oh, God. Are you sure? Are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure they're in. I'm pretty sure they're in. Thought it was still the thing. Oh, we're at 21%. No, I don't think it's going to make it by the... If I know anything about charging devices, I think we're probably looking at next week. I don't think we're going to get from 24% to whatever in 26 minutes. WWE TJ8 says, Days, you're a boomer. All that cool stuff you just said is like 2016, 2017. Oh, my God. Well, that's not too bad, is it? At least I'm only about 4 or 5 years out. I could have said hula hooping, couldn't I? Could have said hula hooping and Tickle Me Elmo. Teletubbies, I don't know, Power Rangers. In 3 weeks' time, guys, Cole O'Reilly 2. In 3 weeks' time. Kyle O'Reilly versus Kushida and also Adam Cole Bay will be in action next week. Top Dollar wants Days to help him find some more most wanted treasures. What is our main event? Yeah, Poppy. There she is. Ledge. Wade Barrett said he's been rocking out to Poppy all week. Lies. Lies! If anyone ever meets Wade Barrett, can you ask him to name a Poppy song? Or sing a Poppy song? Or name any lyrics from a Poppy song? Or even name an album, a Poppy album. Name anything to do with Poppy. He's just told us he's been listening to it all week. So, there we go. If you ever see him around, let's test him. There's no one like Poppy, that's true. Ah, EO's on her own. We want Poppy. We want Poppy. We want Poppy. I'm back, says EO. I feel good. It's nice to hear her talk. The Way are coming out. Is this Candice? I've missed The Way, actually. Here's Candice. Right, so, EO said she's back. Her next target is, but Candice interrupts. Candice said, I'm no longer an uncrowned champion. It's back to the bottom for you. I still can't stand you. I sort of feel like if Renee Young and Alexa Bliss had a child, I think it would be Candice LeRae. Indy Hartwell attacks EO from behind. Against the ropes goes EO 619. Indy, Indy charges over. Big boot to EO. We've got just about 20 minutes left here. Into the side of the ring goes EO. Indy is stripping the announce table. The sweets have gone flying. Oh, my God. The sweets have gone. Elbow drop, elbow drop, elbow drop. Candice is telling Indy, elbow drop. Is she going to do an elbow drop from over there? Zoe, yes! Zoe Stark comes down. Boom, forearm strike, forearm strike. Big kick. I'm here for this. I love Zoe Stark. Springboard drop kick by Io, who kips up. Guessing that'll be a tag match next week. We want Poppy, says JB17 plays. What do you think of Samoa Joe being back in NXT? I love it. Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. Where's Joe to enforce? I know. He hasn't choked out a single woman yet. He's done Adam Cole. But who's keeping these women in check? Hey, here he is, look. It seems like order's being restored moments after that segment. Hang on, William Regal was just talking and now they've cut away. It's a bit clunky, isn't it? Technical problems, technical problems, technical problems. Well, what did Regal have to say? He said Mackenzie, and then we cut away. Oh. I think we've had our quota of William Regal tonight. We're not allowed anymore. You've had too much William Regal tonight. No more for you. I think, seriously, we might be out of time. Like, they might really be running out of time. We are very, very quickly going to this main event. Thatcher and Ciampa versus... Ciampa and Thatcher versus... Grizzled young veterans. That was a bit sloppy, says Daniel. Should have been Sarai. Oh, that would have been good. That would have been really good. Yeah, should have been Sarai. Don. That would have been good. Jim said, I wonder if MSK misses their clubhouse. Lol. Days, the greatest moment is every single week we build towards Cena Roman. Everyone is hyped. Everyone's excited. And the SmackDown before SummerSlam, just a day before Bryan returns and adds himself in. LSW said, could that cut-off be a part of the battery? I think they probably want you to think it is. But I think it was a technical mistake. I think. Sexy. Miss Clown 1, shout out to you. Brandon's brought the popcorn. MSK should have attacked them. MSK is cringe. Samoa Joe had to handle Mackenzie. Yeah, Mackenzie interrupted, but Samoa Joe didn't realise it was an interview. And so they've just quickly had to cut away because currently Samoa Joe's choking Mackenzie in the car park. And it's not a good look, is it? So, yeah, it's actually on a slight delay. So they were able to cut away and so that you didn't see what actually went down. Whew. Messy. Yeah, very good. Very, very good. It's just like what happened on AEW, says Mr. Bran Cope. Cheesewiz says, any bananas tonight? Do you know what? I've got some bananas here, but they have been slowly going bad, and they feel a bit soft, and I think the heat might have got to them. I don't trust them anymore. I've got a couple of bananas here. I mean, I'll show you them. Not that I think you can see them anyway, but yeah, I don't know if you can see these. They're going quite dark and bruised and ghost bananas. Oh, that's all right, isn't it? That's not too ghost banana-y. But they don't look great, do they? I think you can see they don't look. I'm not sure anyone's going to look at them and go, yes, let's have a banana. I think they feel really quite soft as well now, actually. Ghost banana. Ghost. So it's a bit of a shame to waste 3 bananas. But, I just don't trust them. I just don't trust... I don't trust you. I just don't trust you. I'm sorry, bananas, but I'm afraid there's some trust issues right now. So, there we go. That's the banana. That's tonight's banana update. And actually, do you know what? I've just put them back. Guys, breaking news. I've just put them back into a bag, and without doing anything, one has broken off. That is how weak the bananas are. That is how weak they are. I said they felt soft. And all I did was put them back in a bag and one has fallen off. Unbelievable. That's what it looks like now. This is live update of what it looks like now. This one, when you saw it moments ago, it was attached. And now it's not attached. Oh my God! Ah, live! That was live! Did you see that then? Did you see that then? Look at this! That was live, guys. I told you I didn't trust these. I said I do not trust these. I said there was trust issues. That was live. That was as live as it gets. That is just separate. That bit there. You see this bit here? This bit used to be there on the banana and then live. Oh, it's happened again! Live! That was live! Oh my God, it's all happening. I've got bananas everywhere. There's bananas everywhere right now. I don't know what to do. I'm getting a lovely aroma. I am getting a lovely aroma right now. Now I'm just holding this. Now I've just got this bit. And these are the banana. This is what we're dealing with. They look very soft inside. Very soft. This has really took a turn. I don't know about you, but I wasn't expecting this. Hang on, we've got Samoa Joe and that. They're inside the building now. I can't cope with all of this. Too much. It's too much. Ah, here's the Johnny and Austin are here going, Joe. Alright, I've got to deal with this. These have got to go back in here. Oh. You're exactly what this place needs. Samoa Joe says, Johnny, can you do me a big favour? Get out. Pete Dunne. It's like Piccadilly Circus, isn't it? Pete Dunne, face to face with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe, hand in front like this. Oh. The matchups just make you go, don't they? Well, it's been a very exciting few minutes. Austin hasn't been here all night because he's backstage. Austin 316 is what the battery is counting down to. Absolutely. Right, the grizzled young veteran. Is there an overrun tonight? Because we've only got 10 minutes. Chinese Food said Diamond Mine is going to open next week. It's going to be another Raw Underground. Look, they're like, come on, get to the ring. Yeah. Grizzled young veterans are like, Tomasa. No. Jumped. Thrown into the ring, and we're underway with our main event. Joe versus Dunn to steal a saying from Days. Could be tasty. Shout out to you, Jim. Days, WWE has filed several mysterious trademarks for the term ethereal spirit and Buh. According to Heel by Nature, very interesting trademarks and may point towards another paranormals. Oh, what? What? What's going on, eh? What's going on? I'm a simple man. I'm a boomer. I'm a boomer, guys. I don't want ethereal spirits. Not unless I'm going on a night out. Oh, my God. Yes, there is an overrun. NXT goes till 9:10 tonight. Okay. Okay, well, that makes sense. At least we've got a bit of time then. 20 minutes for the main event. Wow. I'm surprised there's no Austin 316 tonight. Listen, just enjoy it, guys. I don't know why everyone's freaking out. Just enjoy it. Stretch your legs. Do you know what I mean? It's just nice to not be sexually harassed for an evening. Buried alive in bananas match, says David Hall. Johnny Gardner says, Days, did you see me pee off Samoa Joe? I saw. Right, we got Ciampa in the ring with Drake. Collides into Gibson. Gibson goes down. Oof, down goes Ciampa. Kick to the side of the head. Launches into Thatcher. Austin is a legend. Johnny says Austin is helping his sister. The battery is separate to the diamond mine. Austin 316's brother is in the chat. Funny. LSW said this stream is so much more peaceful without that 316 fall. It's the boomer movement. Yeah. Telling you. Oh, I hate all this colour in wrestling as well. Why can't we go back to the good old days of black and white? Oh. And the picture's too fluid. Do you remember when it was like in the 1900s, it was kind of jittery and silent? I want to go back to them days. I want silence, I want black and white, and I want grainy footage. That's how I enjoy my wrestling. Boomer, boomer, boomer. Guys, next week we've got Hit Row. We got Hit Row taking on Everrise. So, something to look forward to. Hit row, hit row, hit row. Kick to the side of the head by Gibson. Stomp by Drake. So, grizzled young veterans are in control. Boomers are bananas, that is for sure. This match has been amazing tonight, says Elite Blood Wolf. We didn't hear from Hit Row, says David Conley. Right, we've got Drake and Thatcher. Ciampa ricocheted off the barricade, but we didn't see it because the camera wasn't over there. I do feel tonight like some of the details have been a little bit off with NXT. Like, we just heard something, but we didn't see it. And we just got told that Ciampa got thrown into a barricade. Then we had that, like, production issue as well. And I'm still, like, the Frankie Monet thing, talking about a match that we never got to see or even know existed, was strange as well. So, just a few little clunky things. Going Ghost said, it's a shame Ciampa doesn't want to go the main roster. Imagine Ciampa versus AJ, or Ciampa versus Cesaro, or Ciampa versus Kevin Owens, or Ciampa versus Roman. All would be great. Grizzled young veterans on the outside, and Ciampa collides into them. Back into the ring go the grizzled young veterans. Grizzled. Ciampa and Thatcher are slapping each other to get each other worked up. Properly colliding into them now. They're just bouncing off the ropes, delivering big uppercuts. It's a fun spot, isn't it? Okay, so that's going to take us to the commercial break. Days, you can take your soft bananas and make a banana smoothie with ice cream or banana bread. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that you think I've got that kind of time, to be honest. As soon as we're done with the stream, I've got to set up a few more future streams. I've already set up tomorrow's, but I would like to do the next couple of days if possible. I need to, at some point, do the research for UFC. Because before I know it, it's going to be Saturday and I won't have done anything. So I need to, whilst I'm still feeling relatively awake, I need to research UFC, set up future streams, and then get ready for tomorrow. We've got a couple more streams tomorrow. No AEW, but we will have a couple of football streams. Silent Yoshi said it'll be a soft banana bread. Daisy's lying. When he took the banana off camera, Samoa Joe handles the bananas. Corey says, join my faction, Boomer World Order. I'm so in that. I'm so involved on that. Sign me up, Corey. Absolutely sign me up. I am such a part of Boomer World Order. Boomer World Order. Elite Bloodwolf said this show has been 10 out of 10 in my opinion. My grandma makes good banana bread. I've heard that about your grandma. Brendan says Wednesday AEW. I think it's Friday, actually. I think it's Friday. Shola said, did you see the Tyson Fury press conference? Sort of. I mean, I didn't watch the press conference, but I did see them stare at each other for like 5 minutes or whatever. It's really strange. Really weird. It was really weird. They stared at each other for about 5 minutes, and then Wilder walked off. It's really weird. LSW says, I'm in Boomer World Order. Yes. Yes. I can see this. I can see this sweeping the nation. Boomer World Order, the BWO. I love it. William said, I'm a boomer. I was born in the 70s. Capsman09, shout out to you, my friend. BWO for life. Absolutely. Mama Days could make you a banana smoothie. At 3 o'clock in the morning, she's not, I can tell you that much. And that is exactly what time it is here in the UK. I prefer Ciampa when he was a greasy-haired backstage stooge. David Hall said the military has invented a new weapon against terrorists called nuclear banana missiles. Well, I hope they don't go soft. Jim Gore says keeping bananas in the fridge will help keep them fresh for a few days longer. Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, I'll tell you what I've done. I mean, I always like to have bananas here in case I ever, like, am flagging and I really do need something. So they've probably been here since, like, UFC. I probably had them for UFC 263. And I've obviously not used them, and they've just stayed there. And in this heat, even though it's not that hot down here, it's still, you know, you still do feel it in the daytime. So, yeah, they've just, I don't know. I messed up, guys. I messed up. I can make all the excuses in the world, but I messed up. They should have gone in the fridge. You're absolutely right. Gen X is from the 70s, says Butterspark. Corey K says, man, we've got a lot of members of Boomer World Order. Dude, it was a great idea. It was a great idea. Ciampa stomping on James Drake's head. So we're into the overrun. Chop by Ciampa. A Ciampa chop. I'm having a few whiskey drinks. 3 streams today. Yeah, 3 streams today. I know where Dolly could put those bananas, says Ryan. Big boot. Miscommunication between Ciampa and Thatcher. Ciampa kicks Thatcher and Thatcher goes down. You should call Mama Days and wake her up. I absolutely should not do that. Have you seen that woman? She needs a beauty sleep. I'm joking, by the way. I said that as a joke, and as soon as I said it, even I went, "Aw, that's mean." Even I was like, "That's out of order. That's out of order. You're grounded. You're grounded, wrestling days." Guys, I've grounded myself for that comment. I hear women treat me like a banana all the time. I hope it doesn't go soft, says David Hall. When Ciampa delivers a chop, it's called a chopper. I really like that. I like that more than I should have, really. But I did like it. A chopper from Ciampa. A Ciampa chopper. There's a chopper. Days is the new leader of BWO. Here we go. He wants to be chopped. Look how ripped Ciampa is. I mean, he is just... He's a chiseled young veteran, isn't he, old Ciampa? Elbows to the side of the head. He's on the shoulders of Gibson, Drake. Ugh. Suicide dive, and Ciampa goes down. Banana a day keeps the supernatural demons away. Well, why didn't you tell me before, Miss Clown One? Why? We're around about 8-10 months late here. I don't know why we've got an overrun. I mean, the show is 2 hours long. 2 hours long. Like, I could understand it when they were going up against AEW to, like, overrun to just get that little edge. But we don't need this. I don't feel like I need an overrun. It's a hard-hitting match, says Chris. That looked moody, said Going Ghost. Looking for a backslide. He was going for Shankly Gates. Oh, man, Gibson just came in hard. Drake came in hard, sorry. Gibson had Thatcher in the corner. Out of nowhere, Drake just came hurling into Thatcher. Double knees. 1, 2... Days, I will get you $5 of American money to eat those bananas. I really don't want to. They look really off. They look really, really off. Takeover was an overrun as well, says David. Why are those uppercuts European? I don't know, actually. I don't know if it's where they originated. It's kind of like when you deliver an uppercut, but it's kind of that part of the arm, the bicep part of the arm, that kind of connects. Normally, with an uppercut, you'd connect with the fist. Like, that's like in boxing, obviously, that's an uppercut. But with, like, the European uppercut, it's the bicep. It's that bit that kind of connects. I don't know why it's called that. I don't know if that's where it originated. I mean, I'm guessing it is. Where are we? 5 minutes past. This is also a long match, says David Hall. Johnny said, did you ever watch American Dad? I did, yeah. I wasn't crazy for it. Ooh, he just planted him on that announce table, and the announce table did not break. Okay, so Thatcher behind. He surely knew he was behind him. He surely knew he was behind him. Ciampa and Thatcher working together. And they're going for a double submission, and that'll surely do it. He taps. Right. Regal had one of the best European uppercuts. That was a good spot with Ciampa, says David Connolly. Trina says, I don't like this main event. I'm a little bit torn on it. I think it's been hard hitting. I think it's been hard hitting. I think it's had some nice moments. Not sure. It didn't grab me. The main event, for whatever reason, didn't really grab me. I don't know. Perhaps it's just been a long day. This is stream number 3. Yeah, and again, look, again, that's another production error. So they're talking to the camera. Ciampa's saying something, and we cut away. Again, yeah, really clunky production tonight. I don't know what was going wrong there. I mean, considering this show is all about William Regal saying that NXT is bedlam, but now that Samoa Joe's here, he's sorted it. He might want to have a look in the production truck. Because there's clearly some gremlins in there. There's a few people in the production truck that Samoa Joe has got to get in a cleaner clutch. There's a few people in there that I think Samoa Joe needs to choke out. Because they've had a real off night, haven't they? In the production truck. Get in your scores. David said a good match. Corey said 825. Get in your scores out of 10. They don't have time. That's why they're rushing. I don't know why you're looking into it so deep. Well, I'm not really looking into it that deep. I just think that they don't have these issues. I mean, normally NXT it runs very smooth. So I think if it's gonna have this kind of I mean, it's not just been one mistake tonight. There's been a few. So it's not really looking into it too deep. It's just a case of acknowledging that part of the production hasn't been to standard. So it's worth mentioning for those that aren't watching. 10 out of 10 says Chris. 932 says Brendan. 8.75 says Brad. JP said that match was way longer than it needed to be, in my honest opinion. Jay says 9. Silent Yoshi says 8.6. Shaquem says 7. Dylan says 10. Young Voice says 10. Scott Turner says 8.5. Men One Call says 2. Trey Gaming says 7.75. Brony says 7.75. Robin said, I didn't really think that last one was a botch. Maybe they just didn't expect him to talk. Perhaps the match ended and they didn't expect him to talk. And when he started talking, it took him like they didn't react or whatever. I don't know. But he was in the middle of saying something when we cut away. Justin says 10. Cheese Whiz says 7. Sebastian says 8.5. Jimmy says 10 out of 10. Really, was this a perfect wrestling show? William says 9.7. Scott says 8.5. Shakeem says 7. Trina says 10. Trina, I thought you said you didn't like the main event. David Conley says 8.5. Yalda 9.5. Justin says 10. Jordan says 7. Brony says 7.75. J14 says 7.25. David Conley says perhaps they just didn't like what Ciampa was saying. Yeah, he was saying AE-dub, AE-dub, AE-dub. I think that's what he was saying. I'm not sure. We cut away. I think he said Kenny Omega is the best wrestler in the world. I couldn't quite make it out. Esteban said 6.775. Jim says a rare rating from me. 8 out of 10. Good show. A few things I would have changed. Butterspark says 8.4. Esteban says 6.775. Action says 8. Going Go says 8.25. Desmond says 7.75. John Cena Gamer says 8. The show is way better than TakeOver, says Ryan. 9 says Ruben. 8.6 says Edward. Brendan with a 9.32. David Robert Wood says 9.7. The show cut a lot of it because it went into the overrun. BMS55 says 7.5. Going Ghost says, what would you give it? To be honest, I mean, I enjoyed the show. I do think if you take that first segment away, this is a pretty average episode. Like, I'm not sure there was really anything past that first bit and Samoa Joe choking out Adam Cole. If you used to take that out, then this was... I don't know there was really anything here that was... I don't feel like NXT has, like, drastically changed. I love Samoa Joe. The Samoa Joe segment is 10 out of 10, right? And that's rare for me to say that. It's maybe my favourite segment of the year. So I think the first 15 minutes is like nearly perfect. I absolutely love it. I do think a lot of the matches were a bit... I kind of agree. A bit of the matches were like, it just didn't really grab me. Some of the segments, some of the stuff, as I've said, has been going along. It's been a little bit clunky. Couple of the segments been a bit. Some of the matches have been a bit. The LA Knight promo, I thought it felt a bit awkward. Just didn't feel right. And then he turned, and obviously then it ended really good. I really liked. As soon as he turned on him, it was brilliant. And Cameron Grimes came down, and that was really good. So this show tonight has had the best segment of the year. It's made Cameron Grimes look like $1 million. None of the matches have been a disaster. They've all been like solid, all right. I just don't think any of the matches grabbed me either, though. Like, there's not really a match here that I'm going to go away buzzing about, you know? I'm going away still thinking about that first segment and how incredible that first segment was. So I think I was debating, you know, where was I in regards to, is it a 7.5? Is it a 7.75? Is it an 8? I'm around that ballpark. So I agree. It's got a brilliant first segment, and then it's sort of like a bit of a normal episode, but not a disastrous episode, just like a solid episode. So if we say like it's a solid episode, about say 6.5, something like that, then that first segment obviously pushes it up. So, do you know, my score got decided as soon as I saw a young man who never comments. He never sends in a score. Young Jim Gore out there finally, you know, got off the fence and he said, finally, I'm going to give my score. I'm going to have my say. I'm going to make my voice heard. And Jim Gore, our favourite mod, finally gave a score. And who am I to disagree? Who am I to disagree with Jim Gore? If Jim says it's an 8, then it's an 8. That's it. It's in the record books. That's how I work. That's how I operate. If Jim says it's an 8, it's an 8. In all fairness, I was thinking 775 is what I was thinking, and if I mean, look, there's loads of you up there saying a solid 8 and whatever. So yeah, it's good, man. It was good, and that opening segment is the segment of the year for me. So really, really enjoyed it. So I hope you enjoyed it as well. I hope you had fun watching NXT this week. I hope you're buzzing about what the future's going to hold with Samoa Joe now that he's on Tuesdays. We'll have to see where it builds and how they use him. But I think that is going to be kind of important, because how are they going to use him? Because I feel like we've kind of already seen a lot of what he can do. So how are they going to use him? I can't wait to find out. I seriously can't wait to find out. So, yeah, watch this space. I mean, definitely NXT has got that little more interesting now that Samoa Joe is free to roam and do whatever he feels needs to be done. So, yeah, it's good. It was good. It was good. And what a segment. I know I keep going on about it, but what a segment. So, awesome, guys. Right, I'm going to go. I've got things that I need to get sorted for the next couple of days. So, really appreciate the support as always. Hope you had fun this evening. And hopefully, I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.